Hi, Mina. Hello. I think it looks good. Hello. Hi. I'm starting a little early because I'm already starting late. But then I was ready early. Hello, hello. Oh, where's my chat? Oh my god, I always do this. Been streaming for almost 6 years now and still fuck up my everything. Hi, Mina. Hello. Hi, Mina. Hi, Mina. Hi, Mina. Hi, Mina. Whoa, the new OBS update's crazy. What is this? This guy have a BGM? Sure, why not? Hi, Mina. Little just got home. Welcome home. Hi, Mina. Hello. I've been having a day today. I've been having a day. And I was like so ready. I ate dinner early. And I was like so ready to start stream on time for the first time in fucking forever. For the first time in forever. And then I, like literally 20 minutes before stream started, something exploded and I had to take a emergency call. And so I am now here, now late. In a good way? No, absolutely not. How are you doing today? Terrible. Terrible. Mondays, am I right? It's okay. It's just Monday things, and I'm sure things will get better as the week goes on, right? And now that we're here to hang out and watch some Warhammer stuff, surely everything will get better. Terrible day, exactly the right mindset to explore the 41st millennium. I guess so. Mondays. Literally explode? Not literally, but figuratively exploded, which is basically the same thing as literally exploding, let's be real. Ah, shit, I forgot I have messages I wanted to respond to and I completely forgot to respond to them. Well, see, that's how my day's going. That's exactly how my day's going. I got Amoria to watch Kamen Rider. I got Amoria to watch Kamen Rider Gav. Because I'm watching Gav for the 3rd time right now with Ruby-chan and Fujo-mate. And so I've gotten I convinced Amoria to also watch Gav because I forgot how, I mean, I remembered how good it was, but then I forgot how good it was and I was like, fuck, Amoria, you have to watch this. Ah, my cat! 1 second. Isn't Kamen Rider for kids? Your mom is for kids. Get her hooked on those dark, on the Yami, what? The Yami Okashi, what is it? Yami Gashiki? I don't remember what they called it. Is she one of us at last? That's what I'm saying. Okay, wait. Can I read? I'm gonna read her messages to me. I told her to live message me while she was watching it. So she's only watched the first couple episodes. She said, because I said I was giving her like a, okay, just giving you a heads up, the first couple episodes are gonna be kind of hard to digest. And then she's like, I'll try to watch a couple episodes tonight. And then she said, I already know what you mean by he's like a little kid. I was talking about Shoma. And she's like, by the first minute. Then she said, why does the lettering, the logo look like Kamen Rider gay? She has a point though. she does have a point though. But you know what? You know what I like to say? You see what you want to see. That's all I'm gonna say. She said, the editing, I'm crying. And then she said, Hanto is good looking. He is. I was like, I think you'll like Hanto. I think he might be your favorite. He's a tsundere. And she said, oh, I like tsunderes. And she said, almost all the J-dramas I've watched are depressing melodramas, so this one is funny, seeing the difference in editing and vibes. And then I said, Kamen Rider's a lot. She said, it's okay, I kind of like it. She She goes, ew, what the fuck? The guy with glasses with the worm thing doing weird body rolls. I was like, oh, you mean the stomach? She's like, yeah. She said the way they lift up their shirts is so awkward because it's not one-handed lift. It's like an ab reveal. It's like a awkward two-handed lift, and it feels like they're flashing me. It makes me uncomfortable. Must show the ships. I was telling her there are ships. Having never watched Kamen Rider, I totally watch Kamen Rider gay. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever side of the camp you are, almost all of them are Kamen Rider gay. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for her to go from this is so silly to this show traumatized me. I know, I'm so excited. She's asking, I'm curious, what do you think the percentage of little boy fans, adult Fujo fans, and adult male fans who liked the show when they were little all are? And then she goes, no, I was hoping he'd stay around and be friends with the little boy. Him destroying the letter to protect him. She said, I'm gonna say the show's giving kids unrealistic expectations of how their apartments will look like with the Gyaru's place, but I guess we grew up with iCarly's apartment and Hannah Montana's house. The scared little potato chip guys are so cute. The Gochizos! She said, okay, the fighting scenes with the soda gummy is kind of cool. No, the not Yakuza guy and his pops didn't get a happy ending. Sad face. Also, I thought the miscommunication with Shoma, the detective guy, would have gone a little longer. Ah, she doesn't know. She doesn't know! It's only just begun, Amoria. Oh, wait till you get to episode, like, 13 or something. The more the misunderstandings begin. Soon she will know. She said Kamen Rider fans are so goated. She literally said that, you guys. Where's the Kamen Rider with hot lady lead? Okay, well, to be fair, Gav does have a goth mommy. You do get a goth mommy in Gav. The shows I watched when I was younger made me think all teenagers hung out at juice bars or local restaurants. I went to the mall with my mom the other day. My mom was like, oh yeah, you used to come to this mall a lot when you were in high school. She was like, what did you guys do? And I was like, that's a really good question. I actually have no fucking clue what we did. What did we do at the mall? She's like, what'd you guys do at the mall? I was like, I don't know, actually. I don't know what we did there. We just, I don't know, window shopped and sat at the food court and talked, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. I only went to the mall for video games and anime. Okay, back in my day, there was no anime at the mall. The only place that had anime was... oh, I don't remember what the shop is called, but it might be a local shop, so I'm not gonna say it, but it was like a video store. It was like a... they sold DVDs and they had anime merch. They were the only place that had anime merch, and that store only opened when I was in like senior year of high school. So that didn't exist before. Oh, FYE! Yeah! Okay, wait. Yeah, it was FYE, I think. Yeah. The mall used to have EB Games and Wizards of the... they had Wizards of the Coast? They had a store? We had like GameStop. We also had EB Games, yeah. Once Hot Topic had anime at all, I knew the world was getting better. That wasn't until pretty recently, though. Yeah, FYE! That was what I was thinking of, too. But that didn't come up until I was already, like, a senior in high school, and it died pretty fast. But, okay, here's a fun fact. Fun fact. When I was in high school... oh, this is so embarrassing, you guys. Okay, when I was in high school, FYE... will this dox me? Wait, let me Google this really quick. Surely they had these at... Okay, no. It wasn't just our FYE. Okay, so FYE would have these things where they had cosplay contests. And I went to FYE and I participated in the cosplay contest, and I don't even remember what I wore. I got second place, and I got a DVD. I don't remember what DVD I even got, but I got a DVD. Yeah. And that was how I got... This sounds crazy. This sounds like so unreal saying this right now that are words, but that's how I got scouted into the Maid Cafe. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, huh? To think about. What's FYE? FYE was this store that sold like DVDs and stuff. I think you could kind of imagine it like, I don't know, I don't think we have anything similar, but it's like a Blockbuster, but instead of renting, you buy stuff. It's all connected. The recruiter just hanging out at the cosplay contest. Well, one of the people who worked at the Maid Cafe was also in the contest, and they won first place. And so we took a photo together because all the winners took a photo. And then she was like, "Hey, you want to join a Maid Cafe?" And then I was like, "I'm not 18." I can't legally work at a Maid Cafe. And she was like, "When do you turn 18? And I was like, "In a couple months." And she was like, "Oh, well, you could just come in as like a rookie and you could train and then you can debut when you're 18. That's so sus. It's so crazy. Times were different back then. Times were different back then. This was in 2010. This was in either end of 2009 or 2010. Grooming wasn't even a word back then. You know what my nickname was? You know what's crazy? This is so crazy. I can't get canceled because 2010 was a different time. I'm uncancelable. But like back then when I was in the Maid Cafe, do you guys want to know what my nickname was? My nickname was Jailbait. Yeah, you knew. that was pretty normal in the 2010s. Who would have thought that the hag was once Jailbait? We all start somewhere, eh? We all start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. How the turntables, so true. 2010 was 20 years ago. Shut the fuck up! It's like a Pokemon evolution! If you Google that, they put you on a list. Oh, did you write pterodactyls to work then or what? Shut up! Every hag was once Jailbait. Wise words. Now it's just bait. That's crazy. That's crazy. I need water. You guys are making me laugh too hard. Congratulations, your Jailbait evolved into... There's no middle ground? I can't... Isn't there like a middle? What's the middle evolution? You don't go from Charmander to Charizard, you know what I'm saying? A miner doing unpaid work at a store called Jailbait is the kind of thing that ruins careers nowadays. It was a different time. It was a different time. 2010 was a different time. It was a different time and we were different people. We don't talk about the middle evos. You're using a rare candy in the TCG. That's crazy. Warp digivolving. You need to trade Mina to evolve her. That's crazy. Don't trade me. Pre-2019 was a different time. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I think 2013 is my mental shift. I think 2013 was like, that was when things were the internet was getting crazier. I think pre-2013, the internet social circles felt a little bit more homogenized. And then in 2013 is where we had like the great split. I think 2013 is truly the first time that I did not feel like I belonged in any internet space. The great split, in my head anyway. Around 2016 for you? Yeah, I would say 2015 things got really different again too. But I think 2013, what happened in 2013? 2013 was when Tumblr was really big. So like, I think that was the first time that I really witnessed people like really fighting on the internet. Not just like saying mean things, but like actually tooth and nail fighting each other. To me, that was when I felt like I didn't belong in any internet circle anymore. Like, both sides were too extreme for me, you know what I mean? Not to be controversial, but Gamergate happening in 2014 was a big split in internet culture before after as well. Yeah, I could see that actually. That makes sense. When rage baiting became a real thing. Okay, rage baiting is so fucking annoying, you guys. Rage baiting is like, it's like the meta for social media right now. It drives me actually up the wall. Like, it actually, when I see Twitter posts with it, it just makes me so annoyed. Or like people who post like stuff without context. I remember when it was called trolling. Dude, don't even. Stop it. Oh my god. What was it? Someone recently said something and... Oh no, it was that stupid game. It was the Cursed Companions game. And Cool Story Bro was in it and I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. Because Cool Story Bro was also rage baiting. Now that's a throwback. Problem is also like, oh my god, the troll face. This came up recently, but like somebody posted one of those like, oh, the internet would never survive in the internet I was in, and it had like pedo bear on it. Oh, I should make a tweet. I should make a tweet that like, what's that meme that's like, you wouldn't stand 10 minutes in the streets that I grew up on. I miss what? Back in the days of Domo-kun and Pedo Bear, it was a different time. It was a different time. Of what? Heavens! You're too young. Close your ears, child. Officer, arrest that man. Please don't take that out of context. I just watched a video about how this kind of stuff was super normal in anime conventions of ye old. Okay, so the thing is though, I think there's like this weird... So people who weren't actually around, I don't think they get it. Because while those were jokes back then, the thing that was different about anime culture then and now is that even though we made those jokes, like we still shamed people for acting upon those things. I remember I was at a con once and like there was some guy, and we didn't call it canceling, but there was like some cosplayer guy that everyone was like, oh, don't hang out with him. Like he's weird. And it was because he had slept with a underage cosplayer. And that was like normal. So it's not, I think there's this weird misconception that like back then we didn't care about that stuff, but we did. we just joked about it a lot more. I think like it was easier to joke about stuff, and you could still say that it was bad, but you could still just like joke about it because you know it's bad. Like you're joking about it because you recognize that it's bad. But weirdly, in the today times, if you joke about stuff like that, it seems like you're agreeing with it. Which back in my day, it was like, if you're joking about it, it's because you know it's bad and that's why you're joking about it. Like you're joking about it, you're making fun of it, right? We kind of assumed everyone knew it was horrible. It turns out some people were not joking. Yeah, I think that's the problem. That's a problem. It's like everyone knew this was a bad thing, so it was like a joke, and you could make those jokes like jailbait and pedo bear. You could make those jokes because everyone universally was like, yes, this is bad. Let's joke about it. But now it's like, oh, actually, I don't know if you actually might be a terrible person. You don't know. Crazy times. Anyway, you're watching a video on Eisenhorn today. We flew too close to the irony, son. You're so real. Good pre-Zatsu. I'm sorry for VOD watcher. I'm also sorry for VOD watchers. You came at a very, this is like the Zoomer thing to say, right? You came at a very X time in my life. You came at a very hag time of my life. Early cons were... Okay, oh my god, wait, I must speak my piece. I must speak my piece. Okay, you guys know I have a lot of opinions. I'm a very opinionated person. I'm a very old person. I've been around on the internet for a long time. Okay, there's more. There is. Okay, listen. I've seen so many people on Twitter talk about how they miss the old con days, or how like people like knew the con atmosphere now is so terrible, and like I wish we could go back to how no I don't. That was a terrible time. No, I don't want to go back to no, absolutely not. Do I have issues with how cons are now? Absolutely, sure. I have problems with how I don't think they're perfect. There's things I don't like about cons right now, but I do not want to go back to that. If you want to go back to that, you were not there. Excuse me, I like having to show my ID to get to the hentai booth. Oh, actually, they didn't check my... No, they did check my ID. Last year at Anime Expo, I went to the hentai booth and they checked my ID. What are you talking about? I don't want to go back to getting glomped at full speed. Okay, or do you remember like freaking like... I say this as a Homestuck fan. Do you remember like the bucket era where people were throwing shit at people and people would like pick people up without any consent? That has happened to me multiple times, where I was cosplaying at a convention and they would ask me for a photo and I'd be like, okay, sure. And they would literally pick me up. Like, don't do that. It's like, it was so bad. And like, people were just so socially inept back then. Like, so socially inept. And if you want to go back to those times, you have either no self-awareness or you haven't been there. It was so terrible. Everyone would just like, people would just say the most insane shit to you. People would just like do the most insane shit. Like, it's like so... It was really bad, and everyone was super socially awkward, and everyone was like so terrible and gross and weird, and like, I don't want to go back to that at all. There's a lot of things I do miss about old cons. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good things, and I have a lot of wonderful memories from going to conventions and stuff. Like, absolutely. But would I ever want to go back to that? Like, absolutely not. The vibes were so bad. It was like the same 2 fucking exhibit hall booths selling the same fucking things and bunch of bootleg booths, and there was like no actual import anything. It's so much better now. Like, so much better. You can actually like buy things. You can actually get things that are like exclusive now. You can like do like so much more. It is way more crowded though. And I do understand that feeling of like there's just so many people and that's really difficult. Like, I get that. And I get like it's so much harder to see guests. I totally get, like, if I think about, what is it, 2013 San Japan, one of the best conventions of my fucking life. But part of what made it good was nobody was there, and I bought the VVIP pass, and I got to talk to everybody and see everybody. I met the character designer for Phoenix Wright. I met the composer for Phoenix Wright slash why am I suddenly free? Lunar, like, got to see him in concert, incredible. Denpagumi, got to see them, got to handshake, got to like get all their autographs, got to see their concert. I got to see Kozaki Yusuke, holy shit, designer for Fire Emblem Awakening, also created like Aya, the Vocaloid, also designed a bunch of other games in anime, incredible, like No More Heroes. I got all their autographs without any problem, didn't have to fight anybody. I just like paid my $200 VIP ticket, which wasn't even that expensive, and I had like the best time of my life. It was that awesome? Absolutely. But I think that this was like 2013, I think. And I do think that nowadays cons are a lot more, it's less about community and it's more about like commercialization. But I think if you want community, you can still go to small cons, because the commercialization has really only impacted the really big cons. But there's still a lot of really small conventions, and there's still a lot of really, you know, community oriented events and stuff you can go to. Or fuck it, host your own event. Host your own event. You could have an anime cosplay meetup or whatever, Warhammer meetup in your local area and advertise it. Like, I think if you want community, you can build that too. Is that more work? Yeah, but we're also just in a different time. And I think you don't want old cons, trust me. When's the MinaCon happening? At Offkai, I think every year so far, there's been a Clipmates meetup, actually. So if you would like to meet other Clipmates, Offkai might be a good bet. I mean, that seems to be like the small VTuber con. So if you like small VTubers, that's like the con to go to. Otherwise, actually, I will be at CarrierCon next week through Glitch Stars' booth. There'll be a meet and greet, and my cardboard cutout will also be there, which you can actually take a photo with, or you even might have the opportunity to take it home. The meet and greet thing is still happening at CarrierCon, but I don't know the slots. There will, I don't know, Logs, will there be? I don't have a date and time, I'm really sorry. Unfortunately, that is still TBD. But if I get my first pick at times, my meet and greet should be Sunday. Because on Saturday, I have some other obligations. So if it's Saturday, it's going to be early morning, like before 1 p.m. Saturday, or it's going to be on Sunday. So I would probably... I'm going to assume that they're going to schedule me for Sunday. So yeah. They only have Sunday tickets now. The other days are sold out. Really? Well, hopefully my meet and greet's on Sunday anyway. So I'll see you guys on Sunday. Okay, anyway. Back to Warhammer. Let me have some water. I got too excited. Okay, today we are going to be watching a video on Gregor Eisenhorn, and I don't know much about Gregor Eisenhorn. However, at the end of our last Warhammer stream, I asked you guys, or you guys asked me who my favorite character type might be, so that you guys could recommend me some characters for me to watch more about, because I wanted to get to know like individual characters a little bit more. And one of the characters that came up in terms of my favorite archetype, which is suffering. I like characters that have a really that are what is it, lawful good, and they try to like do everything in their own sense of justice, and they fail miserably. And especially when they go crazy or turn evil at the end is one of my favorites. And then you guys said the Eisenhorn is one of such character, and you guys also recommended a Tau character, Farsight. If we get through this Eisenhorn video quickly, then we will go into Farsight. But for now, we're gonna watch this 40k Legends Who is Gregor Eisenhorn by Luton09. The video is 51 minutes, so I think we'll have time, but it'll depend on how much information. So like we'll see how much information is being presented. So Luton does great work. Okay, awesome. We love Luton. Okay, great. I'm excited to watch. And might go 3 hours. Yeah, so it really depends. Sometimes I feel like I get really into it and I just won't talk for a while. Sometimes I need to pause to like digest it or ask questions. So it'll kind of depend on how intricate this video ends up being and how many questions I have. All right. Okay. Are you guys ready? Let me turn off my BGM and be sure to let me know how the audio volume is. Let me know if it's too loud or too soft, and then here we go. Oh yeah, and if you are painting along while you're watching, please post in the hashtag #XXLiminaXX tag on Twitter. I would love to see what you guys are working on. Feels kind of loud.
We return to continue on with my series looking at specific individuals of note in the galaxy of the 41st millennium. Doubtless this series needs to pick up some pace, but you know how it is. Today we will investigate a legendary figure within the Imperium who's also marked to soon spark a whole new wave of recruitment for 40k in Games Workshop's upcoming TV series.
When was this?
So for
6 years
those
ago.
of you who are new to 40k, I'll just note also that when it comes to specific aspects of the lore, there is almost no limit to how much detail you can drill down on, especially when it comes to tangents or associated information related to...
Wait, did you guys say that Warhammer is European? Is that right? Is Games Workshop European? I only ask because sometimes I'll like look through these videos and there's quite a lot of British content creators. It's British. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Made by the Brits. Gotcha. I try not to think about it being British. Feels weird watching a 40k not from Bricky. Bricky unfortunately didn't have one on Eisenhorn. The UK. That makes sense with the orcs. Okay, also Lun is like, he has like an excellent voice, but it's like that sort of voice of, oh, I'm gonna watch this while I fall asleep, so I'm gonna do my best not to fall asleep. I'm like conditioned myself because I listen to videos before I go to bed to help me fall asleep because I have some bouts of insomnia sometimes, and it works really well for me, but sometimes I do think that it's conditioned my brain into listening to certain videos. I start getting sleepy, which is not good. So the Loon Sleep King is real. I'm gonna do my best to pause and like, you know, take a lot of breaks so I don't fall asleep.
Specific figures of factions, and as interesting and entertaining as this is, it's not always helpful for staying, say, on topic. So bearing this in mind now and forever, if a detail or piece of subsidiary information is not included in any video, this is usually by choice, not by absence of memory. Also, today for this video, I decided to have Siege Studios, my channel's sponsor, paint up for me Gregor Eisenhorn, as you can see right here. For one, it seemed fitting to showcase, but also it's a really good opportunity to see the work that Siege produces. If you're interested in getting a quote from Siege or want to learn more about painting from their Patreon, check out the links down below this video.
Wait, it's a company that paints for you? Is that what their services are?
video. And I'll note as well that this was not a freebie, I paid up for it myself because Eisenhorn will be becoming an ever more important figure this year, and I wanted to add him to my collection. We'll take
Some people do commissions. Oh, interesting. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Commission painters are huge. Really? Wait, you know what would be really cool? It's not a commission, but it'd be cool if one day I can paint some miniatures and I can put them on like the Glitch Stars shop or something, and you guys can buy it. Have a hand painted Limina miniature. That'd be cool. Or it could be like a prize for some event or something. I think that'd be really cool. I never even really thought about that, but that's really smart.
Take a closer look at the mini in detail toward the end of this video. If you want to find out more about Siege, as I say, check out the links directly below the video.
I gotta get my painting chops up.
Eisenhorn. He is a human and a member of the Imperium, mankind's galaxy-spanning empire of over 1 million worlds, which constitutes the bulk of humanity in the current period. He is a member of what is known as the Inquisition, an intelligence-gathering and policing authority who are granted broad discretion in their judgments, often operating alone but usually in command of an investigative or purging force. Inquisitors.
If you guys have suggestions, by the way, because I know ODS, you just posted a suggestion, please post it in my Discord. I have ADHD and I also have a really bad memory and I have early onset dementia, basically, so I will not remember. No, don't be sorry. I'm more just saying that because I don't want to forget. If you say something in passing, I'll always be like, oh, that's cool, I should check it out later. And I'll completely forget, or I'll be like, I can't find in my stream where it is. Maybe use a notepad. Yeah, but I don't want to like stop stream every time. So anytime you guys mention someone, you guys can still mention it in chat, but please always, if you can, also post it in the Discord so I remember to go back to it later, because I would love to see whatever, you know, you guys recommend. Let me turn up the AC. It's getting pretty hot in here. Oh my gosh, you guys know how my computer almost exploded the other day? So actually, I also found out that my computer is almost full on memory. I remember to check your fan art the other day. What? Okay, wait. I did check my fan art earlier today and I didn't see anything. It's possible that you got shadow banned. So can you please tag me in the comment? Just at me on Twitter. I'd really appreciate it. I'm really sorry. I don't know why Twitter has been the way it has been, and it's been shadow banning a bunch of stuff in my tags. I can't fucking see anything. So if anytime you guys don't see me respond to fan art, please tag me so I don't miss it. I saw it, but it got shadow banned. Damn it. Can post recommendations in the suggestion box in the Discord. Yeah, you can post it there. Or you can even just post it in general if it's like on topic for what we talked about today. That's okay too. Also, hello everyone coming in.
Are some of the most feared human individuals in the galaxy, and this is primarily because of the highly minimal limitations placed upon their actions. In short, Inquisitors answer only to themselves and the Emperor of Man. We should briefly explore what an Inquisitor is. They are far from being seen as the saviors of the Imperium, as opposed to most other forces within the Imperium. Many worlds will actively do, in fact, all they can to avoid the attention of an Inquisitor. This often means doing so by any means necessary. Those desperate reasonings of planetary leaderships in an effort to avoid the eyes of an Inquisition is not unreasonable either, because should you find an Inquisitor has taken a suspicious interest to your world, then it's anyone's guess as to what this might mean for your planet. But it's certainly at least uncommon that the attention of an Inquisitor would pass without any consequences. But on the lighter end of the scale, an Inquisitor might call for interrogations and access to projects or details surrounding a planet's activities. They might carry out, say, individual executions by their own hand upon anyone from a lowly slave worker to the highest members of a planet's nobility. But on the more extreme end of the scale, if a situation were deemed severe enough, they might even sign off on the destruction of an entire world via the planet-raising process of exterminatus.
So I'm pretty sure this is correct, but just to reorganize everything, is it like these planets don't really want the Inquisitors to notice them because, like he said, it's typically bad news bears if they show up, but the reason why they have to let them in is because otherwise they can just blow up the planet? Are there any planets that are immune to Inquisitor exterminatus, or like are all planets potentially blow upable? Oh, Terra, I guess. Oh, because the Emperor's there. Terra and Mars. Terra and Mars are about it. So every other planet that anyone lives on, even if they have nothing to do with the Emperor, is at risk of just being exploded. Exterminatus is a multi-step process that involves virus, bombs, atomics, etc. Yes. It's usually frowned upon. It's a catch-all designation for many people methods, so they pick one appropriate for the planet. Oh, I see, I see. A lot of Inquisitor's power is soft power. Picking on a world like Ultramar, for example, would take a lot of work. Oh, why is that? Is it because the Ultramarines just have more power? It's only used at the planet's lost cause. But the way that a planet is deemed if it's a lost cause or not is like whether or not it's heretical, right? Ultramarines would fight back. So, like, is it just the level of strength then? Like, so for example, if I'm like the king of a planet, I'm king of Clippy Planet, right? An Inquisitor is like knocking on my door, like, "Hey, I want to investigate your planet." I'm just wondering what's stopping me from just being like, "No, fuck you." Oh, I see. Inquisitors have total power, but a Space Marine is a Space Marine, and Inquisitors are just humans. The risk of civil war, probably. If a planet is declared exterminatus, it means killing literally every organism on the planet, including bacteria. It's an extreme solution. If you blow up a founding Legion homeworld, you'd probably pick a fight with all their successors and probably most of the Space Marines. I see. The frequency of it is something that's fluctuated in the background material over the years. There are grimmer and less grim interpretations of the setting. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. I'm just wondering, like, what, you know, especially because they're under the Emperor and, like, basically everybody except for the humans are, like, heretical. Like, what's just stopping them from just going to all the different planets and being like, hey, let me kill all the heretics on your planet or I'm gonna blow it up. You know what I mean? You can maybe tell them to come back if you have more political power and require more proof, but they will come back and they will be annoying. I see, I see. Resources mostly. There was actually conflict like that. The economy. Ah. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. So why'd you turn them away? I see, I see, I see. But I mean, it sounds like no matter what, people are gonna die. Okay.
To enact any of this and more, all that is required will be their word, as no one with any sense would or should dare to question their authority. Even Imperial Astartes theoretically sit below an Inquisitor's authority, as their glorious father, the Emperor, sits rotting, a carrion king, upon a golden throne, and he is in no practical position to remonstrate with those who might egregiously disagree with the Inquisition. I say in theory because of course some Astartes could choose to evade the entanglements of an Inquisitor, but others might readily aid them and seek their insight. It's certainly been the case that on occasion Inquisitors have, say, detained Astartes who, as loyal servants of the Emperor, must bow to their will. Many forget that Space Marines are not the rulers of humanity, but they are its protectors, and although they wield power beyond estimation, they serve ordinary human citizens. Of course, this has been somewhat twisted over time as a result of the ecclesiarchy and the Astartes now being viewed as the godlike progeny of the Holy Emperor. But all of these developments have at least to some degree muddied the water in terms of who serves and obeys who. Powerful as they are though, Inquisitors are far from being the singular deciding force of power in the Imperium, even though they do have a presence of that being the case. In fact, its vast bureaucracy from the Lord Commander of the Imperium himself all the way down to anonymous scribes who might accidentally destroy a world by mislabeling a trade requisition, Inquisitors do represent some of the most concentrated individual power in the bleak empire of humanity. They seek out would-be heretics, the corrupted and the corrupting. They hunt Xenos, mutant abominations, and will without hesitation or mercy purge those who might seek to sow the seeds of disruption and chaos throughout the worlds of mankind. Except that not all Inquisitors are tasked primarily with equal value or level of assignments. As is often the case now, some 10,000 years ago the Emperor last dictated his will. Many institutions of mankind are then now subdivided into ideological orders who bicker and dispute among themselves the correct interpretation of the Emperor's will, and how—
Right, because he's like a vegetable right now. So like, because I've asked this before, I've asked this every time because it kind of, I'm just forget / confuses me. I just want a clear answer. So he made like a will, or like he said, this is what I want, and everybody is interpreting it in a different way, but like, is there somebody else at the top then to like decipher it, or is everyone like open to decipher it however they want as long as they hold a position of somewhat power, and it becomes like a political thing where it's like whoever can climb the top can climb the top? I think he's God. If you have power and you say, hey, I had a vision, the Emperor said to do this, who's going to prove you wrong? I see. So it is very much, so he's more like God than like Emperor. I think that is a really good analogy. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. His sons mostly. The ones that aren't evil, right? He didn't really have a will. He just set up organizations. They try to guess why he did so. Oh. Just like real life. Dang. There are the High Lords of Terra who are in theory in charge of that decision. Think more. It was the Emperor that was so important that every word he was studied and written down when he was around rather than a will. I see, gotcha.
How this should best be carried out. Again, much to the irony of it, humanity has slipped back into the grinding attrition of opinions, much like the religions of old Earth. And this was something the Emperor was always desperate to avoid, but now has spectacularly failed to rein in. So this is why many Inquisitors will shift ideologies and attachment to specific orders throughout their lifetimes. In fact, such is the fractured and often clouded nature of reality in the 41st millennium, and doubtless somewhat as a result of the hastily implemented founding of the Inquisition itself in the final days of the heresy, its arguably insufficient direction at its inception has consequently led to a slow fracture occurring over many millennia, now resulting in polarizing ideological inconsistencies. And these views are championed by different factions of the Inquisition who have slowly drifted into different ways of interpreting their overall mission.
I see, this is what you guys are talking about.
Philosophical definitions of humanity and the Imperium itself. This fragmentation over a scale you might judge as being objective and logical and loyal on the one hand to full-blown conspiratorial extremism on the other means that the different orders of the Inquisition may find themselves waging small-scale civil wars. Thankfully, this is not something that is especially common, nor is it desired by anyone. Despite their spitting hatred for those who they perceive to be actively working against them, there is the awareness by all concerned that although, as we noted before, technically yes, they do carry high authority, it's unlikely that Space Marine chapters and other Imperial forces would tolerate another civil war dragging the Imperium down, no matter who is creating it. This seems to be general.
Ooh, this, I don't know which guy this is, but I like his armor. He looks very Zaku-y.
Understood, and so any engagements between inquisitorial orders are more likely to be skirmishes than anything else, with senior figures wielding at least plausible deniability at any required further investigations. It was a Vox Communications error, sir. We had no choice but to open fire on them, and so on. The Inquisition itself, though, is primarily split into three orders. The Ordo Xenos are the alien hunters, the Ordo Heretics deliver brutal punishment upon the heretics, and the Inquisitors of the Ordo Malleus are some of the few mortal humans who are—
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So the Emperor just hates all aliens? Is he just racist? Or like, is it like only aliens that are heretics? I don't remember. What is technically heretical again? Like, how do they define something as being heretical besides AI, or is it just AI? He's xenophobic. Only aliens that aren't subservient to humans. All aliens are heretics. If you didn't want to be a heretic, you shouldn't have chosen to be born. You should have chosen to be born a human. Strong argument there. Heresy is whatever you need it to be, but in general, AI, collusion with aliens, sedition from the Imperium. Anything to do with chaos. Oh, the chaos. Right. The chaos. Right. Less racist and more, he simply can't risk trusting them. Humans originally tried to be friends with the aliens and it almost always backfired. So the rules basically became don't trust aliens. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Are able to stand against the nightmarish demons of the parallel void space known as the warp, where only chaos exists and all of humanity's worst traits are physically poured into it, saturating it across what is anyway our perception of time. Gregor Eisenhorn belonged to that first order of the Ordo Xenos. To some, the Ordo Xenos is debatably the order carrying the least gravitas. They are important to be sure, in the same way that weeding your path and tending your lawn is important, lest they become overgrown, but trimming encroaching weeds offers little in the way of mystique. The Ordo Xenos are primarily focused upon one core objective, the extermination of that which is not of mankind, and when we say exterminate, we mean total obliteration. They serve to seek out and destroy the alien with extreme prejudice, to brutally hack them to pieces, beat and grind them into the dirt, purge their foul ugliness back from whence it came, and most importantly, never allow them to contaminate or constrain the grandeur, progress and purity of humanity. For it is only humanity who are destined to be the rightful rulers of the galaxy, and in the eyes of the Ordo Xenos, all others deserve nothing more than total annihilation. Now, before I go on, I will also just mention something that confuses many in relation to the Ordos and also in relation to Gregor Eisenhorn. So, just because an Inquisitor is aligned or attached to a specific Ordo like the Xenos or Malleus, this does not mean that they are restricted singularly to that path of investigation and this path only. For example, an Ordo heretic could begin an investigation about reports of a heretical cult, only to discover it has Xenos-related origins. Now, at that point, they could continue on and deal with it entirely themselves, or maybe if they felt necessary, they might call in a fellow Inquisitor who specializes in that area. Now, this can obviously be played out in various combinations. You may be directed more towards missions and tasks which involve that discipline, as it were, and I say this because a lot of what Eisenhorn gets involved in is relating to the dark powers of the warp, which often leaves people asking, well, hang on, I thought he was the Ordo Xenos. He is, but that is not really important. Without wanting to go off on a really huge tangent here, I'll just also say that this is often true of other narratives within the Imperium. You often might hear about X-Force dealing with X situation, so you get the impression that they are the only ones qualified to handle that specific sort of task. It's just not the case. It's just that they're probably doing that because they're better trained or suited to it in one way or the other.
Gotcha. So you don't have to necessarily be tied to whatever Ordos you're in. Is there a good book to start reading for Eisenhorn? Just started Horus Heresy to get the background story. Chat! What is the Eisenhorn book recommendation? I know you guys mentioned one to me, so if you guys could recommend it also to another clipmate. Remember the inbred half-Tyranid cults worshipping the High Might? Yes, I do remember them. What were they called again? It's like an FBI that specializes in bank robbery that finds a murder. Right, exactly. The Omnibus? How long is the Omnibus? The Gene Stealers. Yes, thank you. Eisenhorn is his own series. You could start with Xenos. Right. I have the Omnibus. Is it good? How long is that, chat? It's mainly a large book with short stories. Oh, it's the first 3 novels, Xenos, Hereticus, and Malleus. Oh, I see. Cool. Yeah, be sure to check out that book then.
So Gregor Eisenhorn initially aligned himself with what are referred to as Puritan Inquisitors. They believe in and enforce so-called traditional states of the Inquisition. This essentially means that they follow the letter of the imperial law, yet they are still very hardline, uncompromising and merciless. Their polar opposites within the order of the Inquisition are what are known as radical inquisitors. Puritans view this kind of thinking as heretical, because radicals generally operate under an ends justifying the means perspective, even if that means acquiring and using forbidden technology or Xenos technology or dark powers. The rationale for the radicals here is usually along the lines of the end being far more important than any contamination which happens along the way. And when it comes to technology, the idea being this stuff already exists, so why not just use it if it enables us to reach our goals more rapidly? This thinking is highly questionable for many in the Imperium already, but it is entirely abhorrent and appalling to Puritan inquisitors. From the very beginning, Gregor Eisenhorn was, like many individuals in the Imperium, thrown into a dark reality that cares not for you or anyone you care about.
Does Eisenhorn have a beauty mark? Does he have a mole? Is his mole moe, chat? Chat, is Eisenhorn's mole moe? I need to know. Do you think that it's moe? It's his charm point. Yeah, does he have a charm point mole? It's very cute. Puritans destroy all evil. Radicals use evil to destroy evil. I see, I see.
As an emergent psyker, he was taken from his homeworld by the greatly feared black ships of the Telepathica, but would survive the ordeal and rise to become an acolyte and then qualified member of the Inquisition by the astonishingly young age of just 24 years old. Eisenhorn was of course capable of psychic abilities, and once he'd been trained properly to control his skills, he could use these abilities of telepathy and persuasion to compel others to follow his commands. These are not the heretics you're looking for. His powers in this regard were formidable. He was able to focus this mind control upon individuals or even whole crowds, and as you can—
He's Lelouch? He has a geas? Are you telling me he has a geas? Eisenhorn has a geas? That's crazy. Eisenhorn's audiobooks are about 50 hours long. That's crazy.
You can imagine this in many ways could be a far more powerful weapon than even those who use psychic powers for offensive action.
Wait, so not every psyker can control people? It's just Eisenhorn particularly? Compared to others, he's weak? He's not strong? I feel like controlling people seems like a really OP power to have, no? No? Different psychers have different abilities, gotcha. But he's weak because his power is like a mind control power and not like a I don't know what's a strong psyker power that's not the Emperor. What's like a normal psyker power that an Inquisitioner might have? His pupil Ravener can literally control people like puppets. Oh, but Eisenhorn can just like lightly suggest them to do things. His is so Eisenhorn's is more like the Geas. Like if he accidentally says the wrong thing to them, they'll kind of do it the wrong way. But then Ravenor is like actually he can control them. He cannot use Thunderbolt. He can't Fireball. Lightning Bolt. Summoning demons is a psyker power, for example. Oh, I see.
Now, some 18 years later and aged 40, Gregor was on course with a career that had already been progressing well. But it was around this time in the year of 240 M41 that things would become more complicated, when he would encounter a servant of chaos named Murdin Iclone in the Helican subsector, an old and important area of the Scarus sector, a cultural centre within Segmentum Obscurus, and this is the area in Galactic North. Iclone was a particularly unpleasant individual, a follower of chaos and a psyker who would also use his powers to mind control others and even mind wipe them. Eisenhorn—
oh my god, this guy's like this guy's Men in Black. He got the Men in Black pen. So this guy is Eisenhorn but better.
Would hunt Iclone for several years, finally cornering him on the world of Hubris. And I do have to give you some detail about the world of Hubris because it's so stupid it would be a crime not
it's so
to.
Stupid.
The story goes that the original colonists who came to Hubris long ago and used long-range scans to decide to settle there in the first place, except upon arrival they found their systems had inaccurately represented the data of this world to them, and now after a 70-year voyage they were stuck facing a planet that was basically nothing more than an ice world. It seems the nature of this was that whilst the planet was periodically habitable, its orbit meant that it would annually become swathed in ice and essentially completely uninhabitable for 11 out of its 29-month solar orbit.
Oh no.
Yet despite this, the colonists decided they had little option other than to now settle here, and so they devised an ingenious plan to deal with the problem of living on a world incapable of supporting life for a third of its year. They would use their cryogenics from the ship's long voyage to essentially hibernate during this 11-month freeze, leaving behind a designated skeleton crew of 1% to maintain the facilities. And this 1% lived in what was known as the Sun Dome to shield them and allow them to live somewhat normally during this period. And it was on this world that Eisenhorn finally encountered iClone after years in pursuit. iClone had wanted to murder the entire hibernating population of the world so as to empower a figure known as Pontius Glor. For now, just know that Glor was a bad guy, and as a result of Eisenhorn's arrival, the scheme would be abandoned, although over 12,000 would still be murdered, and iClone was subsequently killed. In terms of that act itself, it's important to remember that when you're trying to empower, or if you're a worshipper of chaos, it's not enough to just kill a few individuals, because in the scope and the scale of what chaos is, a few individuals means absolutely nothing. If you want to get the attention and the power and the blessings of chaos, you need to be killing on a massive level. And these events would also bring into Eisenhorn's retinue Godwin Fischig, a member of the Adeptus Arbites, a highly capable individual both in combat and investigation, and also Elizabeth Beck.
What is this? What are these screenshots from? Is this from a game? Looks like a game, like an older game.
Quinn, who joined him as a result of the incident on Hubris. Gregor was quick to recognize Elizabeth as one of those rarest of individuals, a null psyker, otherwise known as a blank. And you'll remember—
A what? A what?
So Elizabeth Beckwin, who joined him as a result of the incident on Hubris. Gregor was quick to recognize Elizabeth as one of those rarest of individuals, a null psyker, otherwise known as a blank. And you'll—
Oh, a blank. Oh no, that was so American. I did not understand what he said at all. my American ass brain did not register a blank. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm too stupid. The opposite of psychers, they have no soul. They have no soul?
Remember that null psychers are some of those who make up the dangerous individuals known as the Sisters of Silence, and also the individuals who power the devastating Psi Titans. Despite the obvious—
the Psi Titans? Is this the same as the royal whatever they were with the elite people, the Avatar Last Airbender people in the cockpit, or is this a different one? They either have no souls or it's heavily muted. Knights, and no, they're bigger. These are bigger. Psi Titans are terrifying. What faction is the Psi Titan? Are those also part of the Empire, or are these a different guy? Are these another human one? Or I don't know if we learned— have we learned about Psi Titans? Oh, they are the Imperial Knights. They're just like a big Imperial Knight.
Obvious problems this might create, not least of all the repulsion Eisenhorn felt from her very presence. He recognized the high value she would bring to him, and so she was drafted into his retinue. Similarly to Fischig, she proved herself adept at undercover and investigative operations. All of this, though, would lead them into what is referred to as the Necroteuch affair. After the incident on Hubris, their investigations led them to become curious about this individual of Pontius Glor, who had been executed by another Inquisitor some centuries previous.
So they effectively have a blank piloting it and numerous powerful psychers as batteries. Batteries? Titans are run by the Adeptus Mechanicus. They're so big that it takes a whole city inside them to drive it, controlling each limb. Oh. I see. There are not many of those around. They are part of a Titan Legions, which is just knights but bigger and bigger egos. I see. So the blanks don't have souls. They're just born without souls. Is that how that works? They're born without souls, and because of that, they're like immune to certain things? Is that why he's like, oh yeah, she's a blank? That's super useful. Does she realize that she's a blank? Do you know that you don't have a soul? Or is it like only Eisenhorn can have the nose that sniffs out blanks? Immune, they tend to drive psychers mad. Oh, just by being around them? And then you get trained that way. Oh, okay, so she wasn't born a blank. They repel the warp. She didn't realize until after Eisenhorn told her. Very, very long story, but TLDR, imagine the Iron Giant shot vibes and aura so horrendous you implode. What the f- Blanks make everyone uncomfortable? Oh, that's so sad. I see.
They decided investigating the House of Glor, who had attempted to distance themselves from Pontius, seemed a reasonable course of action, and they would discover something known as the Pontius. This was a dark crystal containing the spiritual essence of Pontius Glor.
Wait, would you guys say that I'm a blank? Would you guys say that I'm a blank because I have aphantasia? So it's technically like if you had mind control powers and you looked into my brain, you would see nothing and you would hear nothing. And I drive you guys crazy because you guys will say something and you'd be like, imagine this. And I'll be like, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it because of my aphantasia. Do you think that people who have aphantasia are blanks? How stinky are you? Wait, are blanks stinky? Imagine a hamburger. Shut up! I'm gonna imagine it up your butthole. Blanks just think they have really bad luck all their life. I think you are adding more evidence to my case, to be honest. Considering how unlucky my life has been, you know? Blanks are stinky, yes. What? Why are they stinky? Jurgen from the Cepheus Kane book smells like rotting meat? What? Oh my god, you're a blank. People with souls just find blanks kind of subconsciously repulsive. Is the smell thing a part of that? Is it like they don't actually smell, but it's like because of the lack of a soul or the repulsion of the warp is like that's why they make it stinky? So I'd argue that would be different things. Psychers tend to operate more on the wavelength of dreaming, which most aphantasia people do have, so you would probably be able to see it. Dang it. Some people interpret the psychic repulsion aura as stinky. Jurgen is stinky and a blank. It's a metaphorical stink. Okay. Imagine a neckbeard. What the fuck? A spiritual smell? Like when you visit people, when you know people visit forums? It's like when I think about a TCG tournament. Oh, I see.
It became apparent that far from distancing themselves, the House of Glor were neck deep in heretical activity, and a cabal within their house had arranged to trade artifacts of a minor Xenos race known as the Soruthi in exchange for the Necroteuch, which they had by chance discovered a millennia previous. But what was this Necroteuch? Well,
what's a Necroteuch?
But a book of...
Can someone spell Necroteuch for me? I'm too American. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm thinking about it right in my brain. Oh, it's like a necrotouche, like a douche, but it's a necroteuch. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Of profane arcane power that the cabal of House Glor believed would empower them enough to be able to resist the Inquisition itself and fulfilling their promise to resurrect Pontius Glor.
Wait, what was the promise? Wait, why did they
curious about this individual of Pontius Glor who had been executed by another Inquisitor some centuries previous. They decided investigating the House of Glor, who had attempted to distance themselves from Pontius, seemed a reasonable course of action, and they would discover something known as the Pontius. This was a dark crystal containing the spiritual essence of Pontius Glor. It became apparent
I'll take a shot every time he says Pontius Glor.
that far from distancing themselves, the House of Glor were neck deep in heretical activity, and a cabal within their house had arranged to trade artifacts of a minor Xenos race known as the Saruthi in exchange for the Necroteuch, which they had by
Wait, okay, sorry. What is the Necroteuch? The Necroteuch is like, is that the necromancy book that they're going to use to resurrect Pontius Glor? Feed the evil book souls and get sick gains from Pontius. He won't kill you, trust. It's a book. I get that it's a book, but what? It's basically the Necronomicon. Oh, so it is like a evil devil spell book, and you're trying to use that to resurrect Pontius Claw. Wait, Claw? Glaw. Can someone spell his name for me in chat so I also know what the hell his name? Do you guys ever do that when you're like, it's like the opposite when you're reading a book and you see a word and you say it weird in your head and then somebody else will say it and you'll be like, that's a completely different word. The Pontiac Glock is crazy. It's full of heretical knowledge and spells. And, okay, again, but they want to use that to resurrect Pontius Glaw? Is that right? Am I understanding? Or are those two separate missions right now? Because they said that they just traded some small artifacts and stuff to get the Necrodouche.
Chance
Okay,
discovered
gotcha.
millennia previous. But what was this Necroteuch? Well, it was a book, but a book of profane arcane power that the cabal of House Glor believed would empower them enough to be able to resist the Inquisition itself and fulfilling their promise to resurrect Pontius Glor.
Oh, I see. Okay, so he just said it. So they want the book because the book will make them really strong, and if they're really strong, the Inquisition can't stop them from resurrecting Pontius Glaw. Is that like how I was talking about in the very beginning about like, why can't you just say no? This is like giving them the ability to tell them no, fuck you, is my assumption. Don't blow up our planet, please.
Glor. Through the actions of Eisenhorn, his retinue, and Imperial Guard troops, they were able to prevent the House of Glor from acquiring the Dark Tome. But even slight exposure to it nearly caused his demise when he was assaulted by a Chaos Marine known as Mandragore, formerly of the Emperor's Children.
Wait, Eisenhorn was assaulted? And he was assaulted by one of the Emperor's children or one of the guys under the Emperor? Like, is he actually being assaulted by an Emperor's Children guy, or is it like a follower of the Emperor's Children guy? Oh, it's the name of a Chaos Legion. Oh, what's the name of his actual children? The book summoned an Emperor's Children Chaos Marine, almost killed him. Oh, the Primarchs. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I'm getting all the terminology confused. I'm remembering the lore, but I'm still like not able to put a face to a name yet. So it's gonna take me some time. So I apologize for asking.
However, he was tricked by Eisenhorn, who exploited him coming under the spell of the book similarly to himself, and in that moment, he was able to decapitate the Chaos Marine. This caused Mandragore's body to combust, into which Eisenhorn placed the Necroteuch. And it would be this action which placed him in a conflict with inquisitors of the radical ideology who believed he should have retained the book for his research and to exploit its powers. Eisenhorn will be part of a subsequent assault on the Saruthi homeworld to purge and destroy.
If he wait, so he put the Necroteuch in that guy's like head, but that's how you destroy it? He destroyed it by putting it in that guy's head? Is that how that worked? Why are they mad that he put it in his head? And they're like, you should have used it instead of putting it in his head. He putting it in his head destroys it, or is that how? Because he's part of the chaos, or it was on fire? He said that he like decapitated him and he put it in his head. Oh, Oh, he died from unholy fire and used the fire to destroy the... Oh, chaos explosion, chaos book, more explosion.
Rory, the
Oh.
tainted
Oh,
Xenos
okay,
race,
that makes sense.
after
That
it
makes
is
a lot more
revealed that
sense.
the Saruthi are more than happy to trade the Necroteuch as they already had another copy of their own. And this incident would lead to a critically important event where Eisenhorn would first encounter the demon host known as Cherubael.
Cherubael!
Roughly a century passes since the incidents surrounding the Necroteuch, and Eisenhorn continues his investigations for the Imperium, encountering corrupted Imperial Guard, as well as suffering personal losses and injuries to himself. By 338 of M41 though, he would begin a new line of inquiry that is possibly his most notable and infamous investigation, that of the Inquisitor Crixus. On the Hive Lord of Thracian Primaris, a great parade known as the Triumph was taking place to celebrate the victory over a civil war taking place in the Helican sector. The parade was set to reach as far as 20 miles, containing several Astartes chapters, as well as anything like 500,000 guardsmen. It also would include 300 members of the Inquisition, including Gregor Eisenhorn and another Gideon Ravenor. The parade, though, was assaulted by chaos.
Wait, so Gregor Eisenhorn was gonna be in the parade, or was he... What did he say?
Far as 20 miles, containing several Astartes chapters, as well as anything like 500,000 guardsmen. It also would include 300 members of the Inquisition, including Gregor Eisenhorn and another Gideon Ravenor.
Okay, he was in the parade.
The parade, though, was assaulted by Chaos aircraft, and many thousands were killed. This sparked a brief period on the planet of unrest and rioting. It led to the escape also of rogue psychers from Imperial holding.
Like, I feel like nothing ever good comes from putting 500,000 people in a parade. Have you ever heard of a parade that had a bajillion people in it that didn't have something go wrong? I'm just saying, whoever planned the parade, you know, I'm just saying.
And this was believed to be the goal of the assault that took place at a time when the Imperials would be preoccupied with their self-indulgent displays of success and power. More troubling, though, was that the escaped psychers were classed as Alpha Plus. These designations are the rarest class of positive psionic level psychers, and Alpha Plus are basically beyond the scale of measured psychic power.
Wait, so there were prisoner psychers that escaped? Let me go watch it again.
Unrest and rioting. It led to the escape also
of
rogue psychers from Imperial holding, and this was believed to be the goal of the assault that took place at a time when the Imperials would be preoccupied with their self-indulgent displays of success and power. More troubling, though, was that the escaped psychers were classed as Alpha Plus. These designations are the rarest class of positive psionic level psychers, and Alpha Plus are basically beyond the scale of measured psychic power. Their powers are far beyond the hope of the individual being able to control them, and the Imperium consider them to be extremely dangerous individuals and an immediate threat to the Imperium itself. To put into perspective how dangerous an Alpha Plus psychic could be, if they were able to control and channel their power, they could, for example, snap a titan in half like a dry branch, or indeed summon entire legions of greater demons of chaos, whereas ordinary psychers and cultists will have an extremely difficult time even summoning one. Alpha Plus psychers are like white-hot nodes of warp power in the real space. Thankfully, they are very rare, but they are just off the scale in the danger that they present to the Imperium, and one might reasonably question the logic of holding all these individuals in one place. But regardless, Eisenhorn began investigations immediately, and they soon discovered that it was apparent that the escape of the psychers had been assisted by fellow inquisitors, a extremely disturbing discovery. And this is when Eisenhorn found an Inquisitor Lyco in the company of Cherubael, and the unexpected reappearance of this demon host was very troubling for Eisenhorn to say the least. Eisenhorn would then decide to focus his further investigations on this reappearance and the significance of Cherubael, which would bring him to Cadia. His arrival and investigation here on Cadia would lead Eisenhorn and his retinue to encounter another powerful demon host, known as Profanity, but not spelt how you imagine. It was only thanks to the Null Bequen that they were able to survive this encounter at all. but the demon was still powerful enough to physically melt Eisenhorn's power sword. Eisenhorn would vaporize the host body of the demon host, but then simply took possession of one of his associates and escaped. And this is when we see the beginnings of trouble and the muddied waters of loyalty begin in the mind of Eisenhorn, who would then also be arrested by one Inquisitor, Ozma, for consorting with demons. The events leading up to this and their resolution, for me, highlights the problematic nature of life for Inquisitors. Through no real intention or fault of their own, their activities and investigations may, and usually will, bring them into contact with, or result in, the manipulation of demons, Xenos and other warp entities, as well as associated condemned technology. And I think it's all too often assumed and presented very simplistically that Inquisitors are just hunters of the catch-all enemies of mankind, as well as the insinuation that they get off on the power trip of condemning any and all to death on the slightest whim. This caricature, this meme of the Inquisitor, is commonly how they're very lazily represented: a condemned to death first, ask questions later kind of role, power tripping mad, a position that represents little more than the ultimate power trip. Except more often it appears in reality this is a very misleading representation, and that even the opposite is true. Yes, they do have far-reaching and undeniable power, yet their existence is far from comfortable or all about just carrying out death sentences as and when for any minor infraction. They are far more occupied with investigation that are wrought with difficulty in terms of navigating the very fine line between just what is and isn't acceptable in the eyes of specific elements of the Imperium and fellow Inquisitors. The subtlety of what Inquisitors do within the Imperium is far more than just casual executions because they feel like it. And this is why, if you're not familiar already with the Eisenhorn trilogy of Xenos, Malleus and Heretics, these are essential reading and you should read them as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
But returning now to Eisenhorn and Inquisitor Ozma, who charges him with heresy and consorting with the demon. They also later accuse him of being involved with the Thracian Primaris incident and the escape of the Alpha Plus Psychers. After 3 months of Eisenhorn being interrogated by Ozma's staff, Lord Inquisitor Rorken had apparently persuaded Grand Master Orsini to have Eisenhorn extradited to Thracian Primaris, where he would stand trial before a magistrate tribunal of the Ordo Malleus and the Officio of Internal Prosecution. But before the black ships arrived to transport Eisenhorn, his retinue would break him out, and they fled aboard a rogue trader, Maxilla's ship. At this point,
they ran away. They literally, they prison broke. That's crazy.
Eisenhorn is now declared an outcast by the Inquisition and an enemy of the Imperium.
Traitor, right?
Eisenhorn himself was obviously now all too well aware that clearing his name was absolutely paramount, and so he needed to now refocus on both locating Crixus, and this brought him to engage and discuss with the spirit of Pontius Glor. And finally, when he would locate Inquisitor Crixus, he would also encounter the demon hosts of Profanity and Cherubael once again. With the heretical tome of Crixus, Eisenhorn was able to banish the demons back into the warp. Yet as he conversed with Cherubael, the twisted plans of the demon become all too clear. As Cherubael said itself, "When the warp is in you as it is in me, you see time from all angles. You see what will be and what will come, what someone here now will do in a century or two.
I like
what
the lip
someone
syncing.
there has done 1,000 years in the past. You see the possibilities." It's small fragments like these as well which go into the puzzle piece of how time is perceived in the warp. I know that many of you want me to get toward that discussion of time in the warp again, but you see it's small fragments like this that enable us to see that demons and other entities in the warp are really able to see a broad picture of time and the events that occur in real space in a much more kind of fluid and disorganized fashion, seeing everything all together. But it was only after Eisenhorn had banished the demon host did he come to contemplate how he had been manipulated, musing to himself, "I saw the years of enslavement it had endured at Crixus' hands, the torments of its binding, the great forbidden text of the Malus Codicium, whose arcane knowledge Crixus had used to create his demon hosts, and I realized that I had given Cherubael exactly what it wanted after all: freedom." Eisenhorn would then finally encounter Crixus, and it became apparent that as a radical inquisitor, Crixus believed that he would be able to recreate one of the pylons of Cadia powered by the Alpha Plus Psychers so as to collapse the Eye of Terror itself. This had been his grand radical scheme. Eisenhorn would kill Crixus in combat and his plans dismantled. The Psykers recovered in...
What's the Eye of Terra? Is that something important? Why would another Inquisitor want to destroy that? Is that like that other Inquisitor was actually a traitor, or it's the galaxy's asshole? Thank you. Oh, terror, not Terra. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm too American. Oh, I thought he said Eye of Terra, and I was like, that sounds important. Why would you want to kill the Eye of Terra? That was the one the Eldar created when they gooned Slaanesh. Oh, the place where warp spills into real space. It's basically a giant hole in hell. Closing would be a very good thing if it worked. I see, I see. That's what I heard too. Okay, gotcha. At least it's not just me. They almost always say it like Terra for some reason. I blame the UK. Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot more. I was like, why does the Inquisitor want to destroy something called the Eye of Terra? That sounds like a good thing. I don't understand.
Imprisoned on black ships, most too dangerous to be held permanently, and were executed. After this great achievement, in revealing the whole torrid affair and defeating the demon hosts and Crixus, not to mention recovering the Psykers in great quantities of documents and materials, the accusations of Inquisitor Ozma could no longer stand, and Eisenhorn's period as an outcast and renegade was obviously rescinded.
Okay, wait, what did he do?
Text of the Malus Codicium, whose arcane knowledge Crixus
Isn't
had
he
used
wanted
to
to
create
destroy the Eye of Terror, so isn't that
I had given
good?
Cherubael exactly what it wanted after all, powered by the Alpha Plus Psykers so as to collapse the Eye of Terror itself. This had been his grand, radical scheme. Eisenhorn would kill Crixus in combat and his plans dismantled.
I see. So he wanted to use those Alpha Psykers to destroy the Eye of Terror. But because... Well, so I thought initially when they were talking about the radicals, right? So like the radicals are bad because they use demons and like heretical stuff that you're not supposed to use or you're supposed to be against, but they're using it for good because they're like any means to justify an ends justify the means or whatever. But is that so, because they're like, I thought it was explained as in like, there's just different factions. So there's like radicals and purists, and they kind of equally have power. So what I'm confused about is now Eisenhorn defeated Crixus, but wouldn't that be objectively seen not necessarily as a good thing? It just kind of would depend on which faction you're in. But he was objectively kind of treated as if he had done the right thing and he got reinstated because of this, right? So that's what I'm trying to understand. Crixus thought he could control chaos to close the warp, but during his fight he was visibly corrupted. And the plan was really hinging on the fact that Crixus was pretty sure that what he was doing would not do the opposite. Crixus wanted to use the superpowered Psykers to close the Eye of Terror. Eisenhorn knew the Psyker would just easily make the Eyes of Terror wider. He was objectively framed. Just because he thought he could use chaos to control the Eye of Terror doesn't mean he was right. Okay, so it's like he thought he had this thing, and then everyone else looked at him and goes like, there's no way that that's a thing. It's gonna be bad. And then Eisenhorn like killed him, so everyone's like, oh, thank God. Everyone wanted to stop that guy, but you finally did it. Am I understanding the situation correctly? Is that how that went down? I'm just wondering because it doesn't seem like there's necessarily like an objective, this is good and this is bad. Like it's generally split anyway. So I'm just wondering, trying to just understand why Eisenhorn would have been reinstated after this. If what Crixus was doing was not necessarily a bad thing. He was doing a lot of messed up things that was not good. It was probably a chaos trap, perhaps. I see. So it's like, but everyone else realized it except for Crixus because Crixus had been mind controlled or something. I see. More like Eisenhorn killed him and got to go, see, this guy had the demons you were blaming me for. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Remember, this is summarizing the whole last novel series into an hour. Yeah, true. I'm just trying to like get the facts right, you know?
The Psykers recovered and imprisoned on black ships, most too dangerous to be held permanently, and were executed. After this great achievement, in revealing the whole torrid affair and defeating the demon hosts and Crixus, not to mention recovering the Psykers in great quantities of documents and materials, the accusations of Inquisitor Ozma could no longer stand, and Eisenhorn's period as an outcast and renegade was obviously rescinded. It turned out, though, that Eisenhorn had kept a dark tome of knowledge known as the Malus Codicium, used by Crixus for himself, and this would become an instrumental tool for the downward spiral that was the next chapter in his life. Eisenhorn greatly resented the way that Cherubael had manipulated him, and with the Codicium he would learn the dark skills needed in binding and creating demon hosts, just as Crixus himself had learned.
Eisenhorn become Meguka! No, being Meguka is suffering!
Cherubael is an infamous demon because of its association with Eisenhorn, but also because it stands as a great example of just how demons are able to manipulate mortals in the dark future. Demons are able to see a far broader, non-linear perspective of time via the warp, and they're capable of planning vast schemes that are beyond the understanding and the comprehension of mortals who may not have the mind or the knowledge capable of realizing just how they are being used. This has happened on many occasions to Inquisitors, another example being Inquisitor Sabathiel. Cherubael was originally a demon prince of the feral world Clanar II. It held dominion over the local population, who without much effort came into worshipping the demon as a god. Inquisitor Crixus defeated him, and then by use of the Malus Codicium, enslaved it as a demon host. A demon host being basically a demon that is bound to a living human, enslaved to their will. And while this is quite obviously insanely heretical, this is an example of something a radical Inquisitor might attempt, but more commonly Chaos cults will seek to summon demon hosts, offering a host soul for possession. The difference being that a cult will usually be subject to the will and power of a demon, whereas a radical Inquisitor will often be able to dominate and control the will of the demon, although they are not necessarily entirely successful at this, and especially over time, as already stated, a demon's grand scheme can undermine the apparent control a mortal has over them. Either that, or their insidious nature will slowly poison the mind of the Inquisitor over many, many years. The following period quickly becomes dark, and by now an unstoppable descent into radicalism for Eisenhorn. While originally his encounters with demons were unjustly reasoned by Inquisitor Ozma as being corrupting and evidence of Eisenhorn consorting with demons, his manipulation by Cherubael, his acquisition of the Malus Codicium, and the seeds of radicalism sown by Crixus were leading Eisenhorn down a path from which there would be no route back. Eisenhorn's own associate, Godwin Fishig, once had told him that he had been warned to stay away from any hint of radical sympathy, stating to him, "Trust me, Eisenhorn, if I ever thought you were, I'd shoot you myself." Eisenhorn would once again encounter the heretic Fade Thuring, who had killed one of his retinue, Midas Betancourt, many years before, and back then Fade was merely a minor chaos cultist, but he had escaped the revenge of the Inquisitor. Now Eisenhorn encountered him after travelling to a world of Dura where Chaos Titans were being stored. Eisenhorn and his team caught up with Thuring, but not before he managed to activate a Warlord Chaos Titan. Eisenhorn himself had...
Oh my god, this guy's like Gav. This guy's a Granute. He's got like a weird stomach. He got a weird mouth, like near his stomach area. Although he got eyes over here too. This is everything reminds me of Gav.
No deep understanding of Titans, but he knew enough to know that they primarily operated by means of a psychic interface, and that therefore their problem could be overcome by the use of psychic power, something that they had plenty of options of using to approach the situation. Their objective would be to destroy the link between Thuring and the Chaos Titan, and Eisenhorn speculated that by using a rune staff, he and another Psyker could use their power to break into the Titan's consciousness, and then his associate Bequin, the Blank, would also hold on to this staff, and using her null ability, they would amplify this to destroy the psychic connection of the Titan completely. Eisenhorn and associate Rassi found themselves in the world of the warp and the mind of the Chaos Titan, the Crixus, describing this as the Titan's memories, its mental landscape, and this was revealed to them, which incidentally contains yet another specific reference to the fact that Titans originate from the Dark Age of technology and not created originally by the Mechanicum on Mars.
What is the Dark Age of technology, Chan? I don't know if we learned about that. And if we did, please let me know if we learned about it. What is the Dark Age of technology and the Mars? That's where the Adeptus Mechanicus is? Is that right? Oh, it's pre-Emperor, before humanity went to shit. That was where science was so good it was like magic. Oh, pre-fall of humanity. Could you remind me what caused everything to go to hell? Back when humans were making true AI and had creative mode on. Human had all kinds of awesome technology, then AI kicked us in the teeth. Oh. The Emperor dying, AI rebellion, warp storms, chaos, Slanesh got gooned into existence, AI made things go to hell. Oh. So it's like a lot of little things. That's cool.
When they found themselves within this Titan's consciousness, Eisenhorn spoke about what he saw within the memories of the Titan. May the God Emperor spare me. I saw such things then. I stood on the brink and peered into the abyss of the Titan's memories. I saw cities die in flames. I saw legions of Imperial Guard incinerated. I saw Space Marines die in their hundreds, scurrying around my feet like ants. I saw planets catch fire, burn to ashes. I saw Imperial Titans, proud warlords, burst apart and die under the onslaught of my hands. I saw the gates of the Imperial Palace on Terra through a blizzard of fire. I saw down many thousands of years. I saw Horus, vile and screaming his wrath. I saw the whole heresy played out in front of my eyes. I saw the age of strife and witnessed firsthand the dark age of technology that preceded it. I fell plummeting through history, through the stored memory of Crixus. I saw too much. I started to scream. Rassi slapped me hard around the face. Gregor, come on now, we're almost there. This was when Eisenhorn's null companion Bequin would take the staff and was tragically killed in the process.
No!
While being a null, the process that Eisenhorn had speculated could bring down the Titan created what might be described as a psychic backdraft, as Bequin connected herself to the powerful amplified psychic rod. The all-powerful sentience of the Titan had entered her mind, and all were thrown back from the staff. But Bequin was tossed as much as 12 meters back away from the staff, and as she did so, bones shattering upon her, hitting the stone walls of the chapel they rested in.
Oh, Jesus.
Bequin had been Eisenhorn's companion for a significant period of time, and the grief of this, coupled with the fact that his plan had failed to take down the Titan, and the chaos of Thuring was still bearing down on them, caused to him a considerable degree of guilt and despair. And it is, of course, situations like this when people will hear the whispering calls of chaos and the warp to take out the easy way to listen to the promises of the demons. More of Eisenhorn's entourage will be killed by the Titan, and in the depths of his despair, knowing he had no way of countering something like a Titan after waiting so many years to carry out the revenge on Fade Thuring, his last option was an unthinkable one. Eisenhorn held the rune staff and recited the words he had spent decades studying from the Malus Codicium. He attempted to rationalize his actions to himself, hearing the years of conversations with his associates from centuries previous. Yet he was not in that place and time now. For Eisenhorn, the line between heresy and purity were no longer clear or black and white. The line between the two had become thinner and thinner over time, and now that fine line had become a blur. It was not distinct or clearly marked. This was the moment that Eisenhorn would finally cross into the ideology of radical inquisition. He would unleash Cherubael and command it to destroy the Titan that was moments from killing them all. The skull facing of the Titan would crack and explode from the inside out, the huge war machine coming crashing to the ground. In one single release of demonic power, Cherubael had killed both the Titan and Eisenhorn's foe, Fade Thuring. Yet the demon was not acting at the command of Eisenhorn. He had unleashed it into the materium, and now it turned its attentions upon him. it was not bound to a demon host. He had no weapon to fight it, and Cherubael, of course, did not hesitate in tormenting Eisenhorn with his impending doom. Cherubael.
I mean, I can only stop by for a little bit, but hope you're enjoying my favorite 40k series. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's very interesting. I like we've kind of, up until now, we've only really had stories that are really, really overarching and big stories about like worlds and civilizations, which like, have you guys heard about that human thing where it's like if 100,000 people die, your brain like can't process it, so it's much sadder when like 1 or 2 people die. Like if you read a news article or something, like your brain physically can't process it if that many people die. Like you can't, it's like so difficult for you to be actually sad about it compared to when it's just 1 or 2 people. I feel like that's me with like story stuff too. When it's like too big, it's like cool and it's interesting, but I don't really feel a lot of connection towards it. I definitely feel a lot more connection towards like individual character things or like groups or arcs. So this is like way more interesting to me. Although I think because the big picture stuff I still don't fully understand. I mean, not that anyone probably fully understands because there's so much. It does leave me with a lot of like, wait, is this how that works, or why did that happen then? And and I'm sure that if I read all the books, it's like it would make a lot more sense. But since we're doing a speed run of it.
Cherubael's assault was paused when an old man Dronicus pushed it back by use of an Aquila from the chapel, screaming the words of worship for the Emperor. And this mild delay enabled Eisenhorn to commit further acts of unthinkable heresy. Bastian Vevok was a young idealistic Ordo Xenos inquisitor, a strict Puritan and formerly Inquisitor Ozma's interrogator. He had barely served the Inquisition for half a year when he was sent to the world of Dura to assist Eisenhorn's hunt for heretic Thuring. Vevok proved to be quite the annoyance by his proximity to Eisenhorn, with what might best be described as apple-polishing behaviour. Vevok had been badly wounded, though, by the Titan assault and now lay in a terrible state within the chapel. Eisenhorn approaching the young Inquisitor, who assumed that Eisenhorn was there to comfort and help him. However, his line of questions to Vevok immediately made him panic as to the older Inquisitor's intentions, and with fair reason, as Eisenhorn proceeded to then use Vevok's own blood to mark out symbols across his broken body. The old man Dronicus was heard outside screaming as Cherubael had finally found the power to melt the Aquila. In his last moments, the innocently naive Inquisitor Bastian Vevok still did not fully comprehend just what it was that Eisenhorn was attempting to do, as he used the boy Inquisitor as a tool by which to entrap Cherubael with the few words, "In servitutem abduco, I bind thee fast forever into this host." And it was done, and Cherubael was once again trapped. Bastian Vevok was of course dead, his corpse floating above the ground, while Eisenhorn fashioned a leash to tow him along, much to the complete abhorrent disgust of Godwin Fishig, who questioned Eisenhorn that Vevok was dead before he was used as a host, wasn't he? To which Eisenhorn gave no answer.
He was dead already.
For his retinue, who were becoming ever more troubled by the actions and evasive answers of their master Inquisitor. Eisenhorn by now was already questioning things himself, on the one hand believing that he was headed on the right path with a renewed sense of purpose, but on the other contemplating the possibility that he was now no better than the heretic Crixus, and had become trapped in the same darkness so easily and without even realizing it. He would also ponder on the possibility that the Malus Codicium had been slowly poisoning his mind, and that this was how he found himself able to cross the line into binding a fellow Inquisitor as a demon host. Yet he also saw that via the Necroteuch and the Codicium he had been able to achieve great things that he could not have done so otherwise.
Oh no.
It was a difficult ideological argument for him to wrestle with, and one which he found to be increasingly challenging to rationalize. Eisenhorn noted, though, that unlike other demonic artifacts and tomes, which often seemed alive to speak or whisper in some manner, the Codicium had always seemed silent, and this silence was suspicious to him. Was its benign appearance as just a book, far from that truth, and that in reality it had been doing far more damage than any other dark object that he possessed? that unlike other things which an Inquisitor would know were evil, the danger and power of the Malus Codicium was that it did not present itself in this way. It was instead an insidious thing that poisoned your mind without you even realizing it. And by the time you came to understand this, it would already be too late. This epiphany deeply troubled Eisenhorn, but he was already too invested to do much about it by now.
What do you call
Pontius
it?
Glor had been a name that echoed
It was, my brain's not working. Sunk cost fallacy. He got sunk cost fallacied by, he put too much money in his gachas. He put too much money in his gachas and now he has to keep rolling. Mind break? Well, that too. You know me, I love me a good mind break.
across Eisenhorn's lifetime, beginning far back with his investigations on Hubris and the discovery of the
Oh,
Necroteuch,
Pontius Glaw! I forgot about that guy.
and the discovery of these cabals, factions, and individuals who sought to use chaos to their own end. Glaw's considerable intelligence and his personality had been preserved in a psi-crystal by his noble family, and this had been what the House of Glaw had been attempting to resurrect him into a mortal body with so long ago. This crystal had been entrusted to the care of Maid, and some years later Eisenhorn had conferred with Glaw using the crystal, which had led to his discovery of the demon hosts. And this had then ultimately led to his execution of Crixus and his relationship with Cherubael. However, in order to get Glaw to cooperate, Eisenhorn had promised that Maid would fashion a body for Glaw to inhabit, believing quite stupidly that even if this was fashioned, he would never be able to escape. But seemingly inevitably, escape Glaw did. And now Eisenhorn and his entourage found themselves investigating events that had seemed to point toward them being at the direction of Pontius Glaw. Many members and sites of Eisenhorn's operations had been coming under attack or even been destroyed and murdered, and after considerable cross-referencing, they came to the conclusion that Glaw was the prime candidate for these crimes.
Wait, at this point, is he still an Inquisitor? I don't think he got, because I remember when we read the wiki, it said that he got fired a second time. Has that second time already happened? I know he already got fired once, but he got reinstated and now he's still an Inquisitor right now? Or he's still an Inquisitor right now? Okay, got him.
Yet Eisenhorn also speculated that it may well be that Glaw was not specifically seeking revenge against him and his followers, but that perhaps Glaw was simply looking to eliminate any who held any knowledge of him, so that he might be able to then carry out future plans without the fear of somebody recognizing, speaking up about the threat that he posed to the Imperium. Eisenhorn would reveal all of his actions so far to the rogue.
This guy has boobs on his head. This guy's the little Nicky alien guy, the hell demon guy. This guy has boobs on his head. Why does this guy have boobs on his head? He even got a proper bra and everything.
Trader Tobias Maxilla, who had originally helped him in pursuing iClone all those years ago. But after laying out all of his controversial actions, he felt sure that Maxilla would condemn them. But surprisingly to Gregor, he did not. In fact, on the contrary, Maxilla gave the analogy that all those who had died as a result of Eisenhorn's missions, his associates who died because of demons and heretics, were still all doing the great work of the Emperor. But ultimately, all Eisenhorn was guilty of was making difficult choices so as to best serve the Emperor. That where a general might command infantry on a battlefield, he uses people and elements of society to achieve his victories. While Eisenhorn had likely suspected while contemplating the Codicium that he had by this stage lent in heavily toward the radical view, it was his conversation with Maxilla that cemented his realization that he was doing the Emperor's work, even though it meant bending the rules, as it were. But using a rogue trader like Maxilla, who by his own admission regularly broke the rules of the Imperium cleanly for nothing more than to just satisfy his own desires, was not perhaps the most objective point of reference to be gauging oneself by. But still, it helped calm the conscience of Eisenhorn. This though would also lead Eisenhorn to realise that he was absolutely isolated and could not call for help from the Inquisition. How would he be able to do such a thing, as he exclaimed, "What could I say? Pontius Glaw is exterminating my forces? Where did he come from, my Lord Grand Master? Well, to be honest, I've known of his existence for centuries, but I kept him hidden from you, and he's only up and around now because I decided to give him a body? And this was not to mention, of course, any omission related to things like the Codicium and Cherubael. This was only further confirmed as his longtime friend and associate Godwin Fishig abruptly left the retinue one evening. Eisenhorn was able to track him down, but ultimately they would part ways, unable to reconcile their differences that were now laid bare with no way to reasonably resolve the situation. This unfortunately led not long after to Fishig believing it would be in the best interests of all to turn Eisenhorn over to the Puritans to save him from himself and present his actions having any further consequence that might cause harm to the Imperium or those around him. Inquisitor Ozma, who had never apologised to Eisenhorn for his previous attempts to sanction the Inquisitor, along with Inquisitor Haldane and a host of stormtroopers, took custody of Eisenhorn, his retinue, and boarded the ship Essene. They didn't much approve of rogue trader Maxilla either, whose body had been significantly augmented over centuries. And after a brief interrogation, Cherubael would burst from one of the ship's astropods and a brutal fight broke out, with Inquisitor Haldane taking on the cheerful Cherubael, who was burning guardsmen, seemingly at will. Meanwhile, Ozma was fighting one-to-one with Eisenhorn, and again Eisenhorn struggling to hold his own, but Maxilla would deliver a fatal shot to Ozma, vaporizing his head clean from his shoulders, killing him in a single blast. The shot had come from a ring on the rogue trader's finger, which still glowed brightly, a rare digital weapon, a relic of ancient times.
He's got the what is this? The Captain Planet. He's got the Captain Planet Green Lantern ring. This is heartbreaking, and the novelty is betrayed by his closest and best agent. Hi, Mina. Hello, welcome in. Yeah, that's so sad. I mean, I understand though, like in the eyes of his friend, right, that it's like that feeling of, oh, like I want to save my friend, he's going down a dark path, and like trusting the system and like turning him in because you feel like that's the right thing to do, but then it turns out the guy you turned him into is like the worst fucking guy ever.
Inquisitor Haldane had been trapped and was slowly now being burned alive by psychic fire. Cherubael, bored with the dying human, teased Eisenhorn about his impending suffering, as he always delighted in doing. Eisenhorn stood firm with another newer member of his team, Alina Coy, a blank and a null, who was far from being described as weak, but certainly not of the strongest mental disposition. Her null abilities were all that stood between them and destruction, but regardless, she was still crying and scared beyond all rational thought at the sight and threats of the demon Cherubael. Eisenhorn would recall some of the words of the Malus Codicium, and it would be enough to drive back Cherubael temporarily as it reeled from the power of the tome's words. Eisenhorn and Alina would flee, only to run into his old friend, Godwin Fishig, now aboard the ship. Fishig tries to convince Eisenhorn once again to choose between surrender to the Inquisition or death, but Fishig is tragically executed by one of Eisenhorn's retinue. Inquisitor Haldane would then survive this incident with the demon, but was horrifically wounded and would take a great deal of augmenting to recover his incinerating all-over burns. Strangely, he never revealed to the Inquisition the ultimate fate of Grandmaster Ozma, and the reasons for him doing this are unknown. Eisenhorn's team did succeed in binding Cherubael once again, but as was often the case, it ended up being a traumatic affair, which resulted in the death of yet another of his associates. Cherubael, though, would become greatly necessary for what they would soon face, because shortly after their confrontation with the Inquisitors, Eisenhorn and his retinue finally came face to face with Pontius Glor. An inevitable showdown would ensue, Glor being considerably more powerful than Eisenhorn, and although he has Cherubael, Glor's own demon host was again far more powerful. But through some sly misdirection, Eisenhorn would use the promise of the Malus Codicium and all of its knowledge and information to focus the attention of Glor, who could scarcely believe that Eisenhorn would be stupid enough to have brought such an item with him that he himself coveted so greatly. Yet his wide-eyed desires quickly turned to despair as Eisenhorn tore the book apart and immolated it before his very eyes. Glor, panicking and distraught at the critical loss of dark knowledge turning to ash before him, was scrabbling around to collect what he could of the dark tome. But this wild distraction was exactly what Eisenhorn desired. He would tear into the host's cybernetic body, constructed by the Mechanicus, slashing at its chest, driving it back with follow-up blows, and finally splitting Glor's head apart, sending metallic shards and glass shattering across the floor. After
I feel like it's so funny that he was like, hey, you see this book? You like what you see? And Glaw's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, there's no way you would bring that to a battlefield. And Eisenhorn's like, oh yeah? Would I do this on the battlefield? And he like lights it on fire. And Glaw's just like, wait! Wait! That's the real thing? And Eisenhorn's like, yep. It's just like funny, especially because Glaw is like an ancient, powerful guy. So it's just like funny to see the guy like scrambling on the ground. It's pretty funny. Throwing a real grade in front of Mina Distractor on her fight this real. That's exactly that's how it goes.
Vanquishing his nemesis, completing his centuries-long saga, Eisenhorn would strangely disappear from sight. It's reasonable that the loss of so many of his associates had taken its toll, coupled with his own uncertainties about where he placed himself and his value within the scale of Inquisitional ideology. The deaths of nearly all of his closest companions, though, seemed to always weigh especially heavily upon him, not to mention his continual manipulation by so many other corrupting external forces. He did appear from time to time after these affairs, but his death was speculated upon but never confirmed. There are no further records of Inquisitor Eisenhorn listed within Imperial archives, and nor is there any mention of an entity known as Cherubael. But given the darkness the Imperial mankind currently faces, could it be that Eisenhorn has survived to this time and could even make a reappearance somewhere in the future?
Wait, I think... Oh, okay. There's a little bit more... I wasn't sure if this was the end. I'm gonna eat a granola bit. Well, I'm eating a bad time to eat a granola part. There's 5 more books? To feel pain or fear or grief is to allow myself a luxury I cannot afford. My patience isn't limitless, unlike my authority. It's a really cool quote.
Now we'll finish today by taking a look at the fantastic Eisenhorn miniature that Siege Studios painted up for me. Now Siege specialise in painting characters and single models. They of course provide services for full army builds as well. And I know several people here who have already used their services and showcased these to me. Siege also offer both painting...
Question, has anyone here paid someone to paint their models for them? I'm assuming it's like I would think it's a cool thing, like if it's a collector thing and you like really want a really cool model and you know that your skills aren't quite as good, it seems like a really cool option to be able to just like have someone paint it for you. I feel like I'd want someone to paint it for me. I mean, I think there's definitely fun in painting it too, but if you want something that looks really professional, right?
Services and tuition, and I've been signed up to their Patreon for a while now. Now, as you can see here, through Patreon, they provide video painting tutorials like this Eisenhorn model itself. This Eisenhorn model actually was up there, so you can see how they painted it, the different techniques they used for various stages, so that you can obviously follow along, and this is going to be far better than just a PDF download alone. As I've been getting back into my miniatures, I've wanted to collect more and more pieces, and some individuals that I can just keep as singular miniatures to look at. I was really happy with how this Eisenhorn turned out, although as you guys know, painting is a really big part of Warhammer for me, and I've recently showcased my own painting skills. But it's still sometimes nice to actually have somebody else produce a miniature for you to just add to your collection. And I like this combination of lore with miniatures from time to time, so I'll probably get some others done in the future. If you want to check out Siege, find out more about their services, or get a quote for your own project, check out the link directly below this video. We're straight on to the next big video, which is going to be coming up very soon, and I think it's one that you guys are going to enjoy very much. I'll just finish by saying, obviously, Eisenhorn is going to be soon developed into a series. This is one of several projects Games Workshop seem to be working on. This was primarily the reason why I wanted to give you guys an overview of Eisenhorn. So let me know your thoughts about how you would like to see that series styled down below. Thanks as always for your continued support, guys. I'll be seeing you in the next one.
That was awesome. Thank you, Lewitton, for the video. This was again 6 years ago, so it's been a while. How much is it typically to have someone paint a model for you? Like, is it a very expensive thing? Is it really like what's usually the price range for something like that? Just out of curiosity. I hadn't even really considered that to be an option, but that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's like so many times where I'm like, I wish XYZ came pre-painted. Like, remember those anime models that you guys showed me? Those were awesome, and I would love to paint those. But I also would love to just buy someone else's painted one. Depends on the model and how detailed you want it. Oh. $40 to $50 to over 200. I see. It's expensive. But, alright, sorry, that's not expensive. I looked at $1,300 and I said that's expensive in my head. $40 to $50 to over 200 for one kit, or for one miniature doesn't seem too bad. That's about how much I would kind of expect it, I suppose. $1,000 for a whole army is actually not that bad either. Like, that's a lot. How many pieces are in one army, you would say? I still don't know how they put the that much detail into something so small. That's what I'm saying. $200 would be something more like a Primarch or major set piece. Right, that makes sense. I've seen discounts for batch paint jobs. 50 to 100 model kits. I see. Think about how much to commission a new outfit for your model. Okay, but the problem with VTuber models is that it's so variable, which I'm sure that this is too, right? Like, art in general is just incredibly variable. But like, I was just wondering what the general range was, only because I'm just not familiar with this sort of thing at all. So for example, if you find a really inexpensive artist, or maybe an artist that has never done it before, you can get a VTuber model for like $200 if you wanted, but it'll be like their first time doing one. They probably don't have like a big Twitter following, or you can go to a really big expensive, like I've seen VTuber models for just the art go over $10,000. Like, it's a very large range. But in general, if you were to ask me what a general range for VTuber models is, it's like just the art alone is usually around $1,000 to $2,000. That's pretty normal. I would say that that's average. Like, most people are paying around that much for a VTuber model. If you pay under $1,000, it's considered like really inexpensive. And then if you pay over $5,000, it's considered pretty expensive. So to me, that's why it feels like that's a comfortable range, especially for like smaller corpo indie people, not for like big corpo. Big corpo is like different. But yeah, so much of it depends. Painting 3 Tyranid Termagants is a whole different project from painting one Space Marine captain or a tank. Which is much harder? Which of those two is harder? Depends on the army. Space Marines can be only 20 to 30 minis. Tyranids can be over 200 miniatures! Holy. My 3,000 point Alpha Legion army has 60 infantry, 4 tanks, 2 dreadnoughts, and 1 plane. Tyranids because of their limbs. Oh, I would also imagine that they have a lot more like crevasses that you have to paint into, whereas the Space Marine feels a little bit more like smooth, so maybe it's a little bit easier to paint. Maybe, I don't know. Just depends on the artist too. I see. I'm gonna turn on my BGM. Maybe I'll move into the chatting screen. Whoa. That's the old chatting screen. Oops. I forgot that was there. Also, why is this so off center on here? Are we still doing Commander Farsight tonight? I'll probably do it on another day because I want to give it proper time. You know? Yeah. Anyway, what did you guys think? Was it your first time getting to know the Eisenhorn lore? I really want to check out the books, but they do seem really long, and my book backlog is too long, you guys. Oh my god. I have over 150 Tyranid models. I only have half of a standard 2,000 point army. That's crazy. Are Tyranids then the most expensive army to get into because you just need so many fucking pieces? Excuse me, I was sneezing. The audiobooks for Eisenhorn is really good. I would do audiobooks, but I think if I did audiobooks, I'd fall asleep every time. The only time that I've done audiobooks successfully is when I was doing long commutes, because then I could listen to the audiobook while driving or while I was on the subway. Depends on if you're doing Tyranid Kaiju or Horde of Little Tyranid Puppies. Are the Kaijus cheaper? Tyranids have Kaiju armies which are less expensive. Oh! There's AdMech that are Horde and expensive on top of being a Horde. What's an AdMech? Well, I'm gonna look it up. AdMech Warhammer. Oh, Adeptus Mechanicus. Oh! Oh man, the Adeptus Mechanicus ones look so difficult to paint. They look so difficult. Gensealer cults are generally the most expensive. Ah. Big units cost more, but are worth much more table points. They're all cheaper if you use the code XXLimina XX for 10% off at Zephyr Arcade. So true! Thank you, Coyote Man. Hio has my minis that Zephyr sent, so I'm really excited to get those and I can't wait to start painting them. I will definitely do that as soon as I get them from her, but we've both been really busy, so I haven't been able to pick them up from her. Also, speaking of promotions and plugs, thank you guys so much for funding my processor on Throne. I am really excited. I'm gonna go on a business trip at the end of next month, so I'm thinking about taking my computer to my coworker during that trip so that he can put it together for me. Is it a part for you or the computer? God, I wish I could just fix me by buying parts. Anyway, gotta sleep. Good night. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. What models did you get again? So Hio and I are gonna do a kill team. We're gonna be painting kill team together, and we are also gonna play kill team once we paint it all. I'll probably be doing the Nurgle army guy, and she will probably be doing the Space Marines for that one. And then I also got a little kit of Tyranids. I don't remember, it was like it's a kit that comes with paint as well, like a paint and a paintbrush. So I got that kit. Man, doing all this makes me want to paint so bad. I want to paint. It'd be so fun. The starter kit, yeah. I just wanted to get a couple starter things, and you know, before, because I didn't really know what exactly I liked or what I wanted to get into. I like Tyranids because they're buppies. So do you guys ever sand them to help the primer stick, or is that like really a Gundam thing? I didn't do it with my Gundam minis, but I was just wondering. Trying to paint my Venom crawler and I haven't finished all the metal parts yet. Some people said yes, some people say no. Sand to get rid of the nubs. Sand connection points. Ah, only 3D printed ones. Whoa, wait, have you guys 3D printed your own miniature models? I haven't, but I'm very new. I sand down mold lines. That makes sense. Oh, speaking of which, Shoot, where's my... 1 second, chat, give me a second. Give me a second. Where is it? Ah, here it is. Ah, I need access. I think this is probably... I think this is fine. Surely this is the final image. No, okay. No, no. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Ta-da! Okay, if you guys missed the announcement on Emery's channel... Woohoo! We are doing a contest. It is starting from a couple days ago. It is called the Nyakamates Plamo Party. And technically, Warhammer builds do count. We're going to be counting anything plastic. So the way this will work is that it has to be any kind of plastic model kit. So it can be Warhammer, it can be Gundam, it can be Zoids, it can be 30-Minute Sisters, it could be whatever you'd like. And you do need to take 2 work-in-progress photos to prove that you're the one who built it. So be sure to take those while you're building them. And any fun photos in those is always appreciated if you want to use your Limina or Emery merch to take some fun photos while you're doing your work in progress. And we'll have a Google form up hopefully soon. And yeah, we have 4 different categories. 4 different categories. First category is Emery themed. So make your Gunpla look like Emery or a Nyakama or, you know, something that is evoking Emery. The second one is Limina theme. So obviously that's evoking me. You could use my colors. You could make it a clip mate, whatever you'd like. The Mane-san special. Both of our Mane-chans will take a look at your entries and they will pick one of the entries. And the most creative photo. So the most creative photo is a category. If you guys are new, the most creative photo category is kind of meant to give beginners a shot for those who are not as familiar and maybe they just want to build their very first kit ever and they're going to build a Gunpla kit but they don't know how to paint it or anything. That's totally fine. Your category is probably going to be the most creative photo category where you can kind of have fun with how you're posing your Gundam or whatever model kit you're posing. You can take them outside. You could pose them with our like acrylic standees and stuff, like whatever creative way you want to present the photo. It'll be based on how fun your photo is or how cool it is as opposed to your building skills. So it's a really good section for anyone who's new at building. I don't have any completed Gunpla kits. Oh no! Well, you're in luck. Not right now, but we will announce very soon a coupon code that you can use at Zephyr. And through Zephyr, you will be able to purchase a kit, get 10% off as you normally would. And you might also get a little bonus prize during the period. But I need to make a note to talk to Zephyr about that. Let me just double check that we're still doing this. It's been a time. Everyone's been really busy, so let me ask. And the prize will also be provided by Zephyr. We haven't fully solidified the prize yet, but I think part of the thing is, though, we don't really want to talk about the prize because we don't want people to be doing it for the prize. I think you should be competing because it's fun and it's like a cool way to get through your backlog. We really don't want people who are like not part of the community, for example, to like try to hop into Sniper Prize or something. It's really meant for our communities, so it's meant for you guys. And one of the cool things that you will receive if you win is you will receive that artwork as a keychain. The artwork on the left, it's really cute. You'll get that as a keychain, and a couple lucky extra people will also receive that keychain just for submitting. It's going to be raffled through the other submissions too. So if you you know, even if you just participate, you have a chance at winning something. Yeah, so I highly recommend everyone to check it out, start building. Emery is out right now on a trip, but she'll be back soon, and we'll both be promoting the contest a bunch and building our own things to get you guys excited. We'll release like a hashtag and all that stuff later. But thank you so much for these super chats. Since you like lawful characters trying to do good with bad system, you should unironically add Robooty Gillyman. Oh no, Gillyman. You guys have made fun of him so much. You guys have made fun of him so much. Okay, let's see. Booty. Okay. I will definitely add him to my list of characters that I'll check out. He's John Warhammer. Poor rowboat girly man. But thank you so much for the super chat. I'll definitely check him out. I like seeing all the individual characters, so really interested in learning more about all the individual cool characters. He has a goth Eldar waifu? He does? Isn't that heretical? Are Eldar heretical? Oh, earlier somebody asked if Legos were okay. I would say that Legos is probably not in line with what we're looking for, but if you really don't have anything else, you are welcome to submit it. We'll accept it as an entry, but yeah, I would highly encourage you to try doing something more plastic model, like when you think of a plastic model kit. Monster Mango, thank you so much for 3 months of membership. Have it 3 months. Robert Gorilla Man is a pretty great character. Is he like the Benedict Cumberbatch of Warhammer, where every time someone says his name, it's like a different way to say his name? Who's gonna tell Gillyman that he can't have his Eldar waifu? He was asleep 10,000 years and woke up and was like, what the fuck are we doing? The El Dusty got him acting up. That's crazy. His name really is Rotund Guava. That's crazy. Anyway, that was cool. I mean, I don't know. I think I have to read the books. I think the overview... Maybe I'm just picky, but like, I think for me, the overview is not quite hitting it the same. I gotta actually like talk to him. I mean, I'm not gonna talk to him, but I gotta like talk to him. Just someone telling me about him is not gonna be enough. I need to experience him for myself. That sounds weird, but yeah. I'm curious about the books, but I'm scared. I feel like there's so many. It's so long. I like VTuber book reviews. Really? You do? Okay, wait, what is it called again? It's just called the Eisenhorn. Is it called the Eisenhorn Omnibus? Omnibus. It's huge! It's huge! There's only 8 books with a 9th on the way. I'd say it's average. Har. You handled rants, you can survive it. Okay, but my attention span is much shorter for books. I mean, I like reading books, but it's so hard for me to read books. I enjoy them, and I never regret doing it, but I really need to like force myself. The omnibus is not that expensive. It's only oh, it's used. It's $15 used. It looks so fat. What about audiobooks? I was saying it earlier, but I feel like if I listen to audiobook now, because I don't leave my house, I'll just fall asleep. You know, nowadays I've been listening to this one YouTuber and her videos are 20 minutes long and I don't think I've ever made it past like 10 minutes or even 5 minutes. It insta puts me to sleep. It's great. We're also getting a new edition of the core 40k rules soon, so there'll be a bunch of new fans start here for both the game and the novels. Ooh, awesome. A lot of Warhammer books will be used. They aren't great with supply. Oh. Maybe I should check out. I have like a local used bookstore. Maybe I can check if they have it. Now I should go to all the used bookstores and thrift stores and check if they have any Warhammer books. That'd be cool. The book for the Bad Ab War is like $5,000. What? What? Why aren't they good with supply? Can't they just print these and people will buy them, or no? I want to play the whole game on stream, but Rogue Trader and later Dark Heresy really will give you that ground level view of characters you want. Who's the main character in Rogue Trader? Games Workshops hates making things. Their business model is FOMO. That's fair. Oh, you. You are the main character. They used to print a bunch and you could find them easily at like Barnes and Nobles, but they found out they can make more money if they force FOMO on the novels. Ah. Rogue Trader is create a character. Okay, a lot of you guys have mentioned Rogue Trader to me. Rogue Trader. Buy the bundle, but there's only one item in the bundle. Rogue Trader is 40k Baldur's Gate. That's cool. Is it multiplayer? Have any of the other Glitch Stars girls played Rogue Trader? I'll add it to my wish list. Miwadin? Maybe I could get some other girls to play together. Eris and Sunny played in. She threw a grenade at herself. Classic. I mean, 40k Baldur's Gate sounds really cool. In theory. And all of you guys have said that the game is really good. Does it have canonical other characters in it? Or is it everyone is like, it's like its own little world? It does. Frazin the Infinite. Okay, I guess I haven't heard of them before. Trader has party members to recruit, yes. I guess I should ask Amaya if she wants to play. I feel like this seems like up Amaya's alley, potentially. But I feel like Baldur's Gate content does so poorly usually because people get bored. It's a popular Necron character. Oh, uses gods as Pokemon. It's made by the people who made the Pathfinder game. Oh, I have a friend who loves the Pathfinder game. Oh, she's played Pathfinder. Okay, okay. Amaya's only hang up was that some romance didn't get voiced. There's romance in this? Interesting. You can tame a Forge Fiend in the game. You should look that unit up. Forge Fiend. Forge Fiend. Aw, Forge Fiend is so cute! Wait, I love him! I love him. He looks like a little, he looks like a little Zoid or something. Aww. He's adorable. I want one. Wow, some of these people are really insane at painting. That's so cute. Mostly recommending for your education immersion. I did say don't do the whole game unless you're really into it. Not trying to kill anyone. No. I think it's that's just like me thinking out loud. Don't worry about it. There's an alternate version called the Mauler Fiend, and he's even more okay. Mauler Fiend. Oh, Mauler Fiend is so cute. Mauler Fiend looks like a Digimon. This guy is just a Digimon. He's so cute. Yeah, he just straight up looks like a Digimon. Are these the really expensive ones? Are these the really big kits? Orcs have cute puppies too called Bomb Squigs. Bomb Squigs. No! Bomb Squigs are ugly. They look like, shit. In Final Fantasy. What are the little fire guys? They look like the little fire guys. Not cute! They kind of look like bulldogs. I think probably that's why I'm not a big fan of bulldogs. Bombs. Yeah, the bombs. Nah, those things, those aren't huge. Oh, I see. Wait, I want a puppy. Okay, Forge Fiend and Mauler Fiend, what are they? What faction are they used by? It's so cute. Chaos Space Marines. Oh. Chaos Space. Which one's the Chaos ones? Oh, the cool looking ones with the claws. Yeah, this guy looks like straight up like Black War Greymon. Chaos Space Marines are cool looking. I'm not a big fan of skulls though, personally. I'm not a skulls kind of guy. I prefer them without the skulls. Like, they look so much cleaner and cooler without skulls. She will never please Corn. No, the skull... No. The skull god can have all the skulls. I just don't want any skulls, okay? Every time you write CSM, I think you're saying Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man. Yeah, also thought the skulls is kind of Space Marines. But I like that they're edgy, though. They're like edgier than Space Marines. Like, I like the spikes and chains and stuff. Space Marines also do have skulls everywhere. Why? You couldn't pick something else? Like hearts and rainbows or something? The spike motif makes them cool. Yeah, the spikes are cool. I like that they have like a menacing horns on their helmet and stuff. Night Lords? Night Lords Warhammer. Oh, my Night Lords are so cute! Wait, Night Lords are adorable. I like the little bat wings. The bat wings are so cute. I'm not really into like the red and blue combo, but it is really cute. This guy just looks like a fucking what's Vmon Imperial. This guy looks like Imperial Dramon. He has like big claws and red wings and a blue body with yellow trim. It looks like Imperial Dramon. And that's the first time I've heard Night Lords called cute. They got little bat wings! It's adorable! I mean, hello, Jesterful. Thank you so much for 2 months of membership! They also love skinning people alive. Hey. I can't have hobbies. Heldrick reminds me of Digimon. Deedramon, say less. Heldrick. Wait, Heldrick is so cute. This guy's like a dwagon. Mimi, thank you so much for the gifts and membership. Be sure to thank Mimi if you receive one. Thank you. Mimi has been on a streak of gifting a membership like every stream lately. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It helps a lot. Heldrake is a bitch to paint. It looks like a bitch to paint. It does look really cool though. Yeah. A lot of trim. So much trim. That's really cool. I really enjoy like seeing how other people painted the different guys, especially the buppies. I like the Mauler Fiend and the Forge Fiend are so cute. I like the buppies, you guys. The Digimon in Warhammer. Squeegosaur. Squeegosaur. No! This guy is just oh, he's a little bit cuter actually. Squeegosaur is a little bit cuter, you're right. Agumon puppy. I wish he had little dinosaur arms though. It's a little like unnerving that he doesn't have arms. They do evolve. They do. Groot? Like Groot? Groot Warhammer. Groot? This guy looks like this guy looks like a mix of the James Cameron Avatar and what's her name in Baldur's Gate? The one that tries to kill you in the beginning. Fruit hounds. Okay. Just look at the buppies. Oh, the Gift Yankees. Yeah. Wait, the Croot hounds are so cute. I like the Croot hounds. Lazelle, thank you. That's her name. The Croot hounds are so cute. They're Tau units. Wait, I can use puppies in... Can I use the puppies in my Tau army? Aw, they're so adorable. They're just little guys. But do I have to use the Croots if I want to use a Croot hound? There's this random Reddit thing that says you're perfectly planned medalist that can smash any faction versus 250 Crute Hounds. I like that. I like that. You can because they're the same faction? Heck yeah. Oh, some guy took 250 Crute Hounds to a tournament? Is that this guy? There are also cyborg dogs and Necromunda. Necromunda. Dog. Dog. Oh, wait, these are so cute! Wait, these are like actual Zoids, though. Or, and some of these are actual dogs. But the cyber dogs... The two cyber dogs are very Zoid core. One's like a command wolf and the other one's like a liger. Wait, that's so cute. It's like a shield liger. What if I got this and painted it like a command wolf and painted the other one like a shield liger? That would be so cute! Oh my gosh. What faction is the Necromunda? I've never even... Have we heard of them or talked about them? In Darktide, you can get a pet. Oh my gosh, them is a cyber mastiff in Darktide named Cheese Bunker. That's so cute. Oh, it's a different game. It's another game. Oh. Oh. I see. Is that... So Darktide and... Darktide is a different one, and then Vermintide is a different one too, right? Same universe? Wait, is Vermintide also the same universe? I forget what that one is called. Oh, Vermintide is a different universe. Oh! Darktide is 40k. Oh! Okay, wait, then... I'm confused. If Darktide is 40k, then why is Necromunda a different game? Vermintide is Warhammer Fantasy, right? The old for Warhammer Fantasy, which is the old world. Darktide is 40k Vermintide? What does that mean? Necromunda is somewhere in between 40k, you're controlling an army, and TTRPG, you're controlling a single guy games. Oh! Oh, I see. So it takes place in the same setting. It's just a separate type of game. It's like a more normal TTRPG-esque game. Darktide is a video game, Necromunda... Oh, sorry. I understood that Darktide was a video game and Necromunda was a tabletop. I was asking in terms of the universe setting. So, Darktide, Necromunda, and 40k are all the same universe? Like, they're all still Warhammer 40k? It's just that they're different types of games that you could play? Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. So you couldn't make a Necromunda army. Wait, then so, okay, what are these? They're different planets. Oh, I see. So Necromunda is just one of the planets. We just haven't met them yet in any of the 40k lore stuff. Is that right? The skirmish type game where your army is small units like 6 to 8 models instead of the big armies in regular 40k. Gotcha, gotcha. $40k, Horus, Heresy, Necromunda, Kill Team are... Wait, Kill Team is not the same game as Warhammer 40k? I thought it was just like an abridged version of 40k. But I thought it was the same game still. No? Necromunda is one of those planets that kind of does its own thing. It has a amount of lore unto itself. I see. Fantasy Old World, Total Warhammer 1 to 3, and Age of Sigmar is another universe. Kill Team is an intro to 40k, but you can play it on its own. It's a different designer built around small teams. It's a smaller scale 40k game. Oh, it used to be closer. The neural rule set is more its own game. Interesting. The glory of a million worlds is that you can always make up new stuff and place it in the universe. 40k is a setting more than it is a story. Sure. Gotcha. Okay, that all makes sense. Kill team models can scale into a 40k game. Can you do the same for Necromunda models or no? Kill team is actually very popular. It's like a tournament game. Really? Not really. In Kill Team, you can play with a single squad while you play with a bunch of squads in 40k. A game of Kill Team takes 40 minutes and a game of 40k can take 3 hours. I see, I see. Unfortunately not. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm understanding now where the division is. I got it. I understand. Like, Kill Team is like a D&D one-shot, and 40k is D&D, and then Darktide is Baldur's Gate 3, and Necromunda is like I don't know, like Call of Cthulhu or something. Like, you can't play it together, but yeah, I understand. I mean, that's not a really good reference, but yeah, that makes sense. The D&D board game. Yeah, sure, that works. Darktide is like left. No, I just mean within the universe, chat. Within the universe. I'm talking about how they operate within, like, the universe and with each other, not what type of game it is. Not the game genre. I'm just talking about, like, generally how they relate to one another. That makes sense. That makes sense. My kill team of Tau is all I need to play kill team, but if I use them for 40k, they make up maybe one of 20 squads. Oh, wow. 40k is freaking huge. I've still literally never... I've still literally never seen anyone play in. Now that I kind of understand it better, though. It's almost 40 years old. Yeah, it makes sense. Me too. Just kidding. I have a long ways to go, right, chat? Right? Yeah, right? There are really good videos on YouTube of just people playing 40k and narrating the turns. Yeah, I definitely need to check those out. Yeah, then you blink. I know. I literally... My birthday's soon. It's in a couple weeks. Ah! Thank you for reminding me that my knees hurt. Yeah, my knees too. Anyway, I didn't realize we were yapping for so long. I actually have some work I gotta do, so I'm gonna hop off. I have a really rough week this week with a lot of work and a lot of catch up that I'm doing with a lot of events and a lot of other random things that I'm going to be participating in. So I will be having a lighter schedule this week. If you haven't already seen it, I will post on... What the fuck is happening to my Twitter page? I was going to look at my schedule, but my Twitter is broken. Where's my schedule image? Oh, it logged me out. What the hell? That was the first time Twitter has ever logged me out. Okay. Tomorrow I'll be doing a members only working together where I catch up on a bunch of work. If you're a member, you can hang out again like we did last time. Otherwise, we'll see you all on Thursday for Fortnite. We'll be playing with XP. Wednesday and Sunday, there's potential guerrillas happening. It'll really depend on what my work looks like tomorrow. And then I will be working again on Friday. But if I finish everything that I need to do, Friday we'll probably play a game or we'll like build Gunpla or something. I don't know, just hang out. And don't forget that this weekend is Carrier Con. If you are up in Northern California, or if you're nearby, you're going to want to stop by. So Glitch Stars is going to have a booth there. my cardboard cutout will be there, and I will have a meet and greet there. So stay tuned for some times and such. So I'll see you guys hopefully not in person. Like, I won't be there in person, but you'll be there in person, and perhaps I will see you there for a meet and greet. Say hello, say hi. And if you guys have never been to a meet and greet before, I saw some people saying that they were like nervous about meet and greets, but I promise you the meet and greets are really chill. Just come on by, say hi. It'd make me really happy if you're in the area, if you came by and said hello, and tell me your like, be sure to tell me your YouTube handle so I can remember who you are. It'll sometimes take me a while to remember people's faces. I'm like very not good at faces, but I'm doing my best to be better. And if I forget or if I confuse you with someone else, I'm really sorry. I'm really trying my best. Okay, well, not you. Not you, Mimi. And I don't know if Glitch Stars is gonna be accepting. I'm pretty sure they are accepting gifts. So if you have any gifts for me, you're welcome to bring them at CarrierCon. Just make sure they're not too big, because they won't be able to take it in if it's anything big. Otherwise, I believe Glitch Stars will have a booth at Offkai too. So if you can't make the CarrierCon, we have another con coming up soon. Oh, and we already announced, right? Did we announce? Wait, let me double check. Did we announce our other meet and greet? We did, right, chat? Yeah, we did. WeebCon. Right. WeebCon, which is happening in, I believe, Dallas. I'm gonna say it's Dallas. In Dallas, Arunia will be doing a meet and greet at WeebCon. If you guys are in Dallas, or if you're nearby Dallas and you'd like to stop by, it's gonna be happening over my birthday weekend. Is April 3 to 5, and I will have my meet and greet on the Friday, which I believe is the 3rd. So I'll see you guys there. And I think there's a little code that I think it's like Limina Alteri, and you can get a little discount on your ticket if you haven't purchased your ticket already. I'll see you guys there. That one is with Kawa though, so Glitch Stars will not be there, so I will not be accepting gifts at WeebCon. So just as a heads up, so everyone is aware what cons and what's happening. So if it's a Kawa con, they will not be accepting gifts. If it is a Glitch Stars booth at a con, I can accept gifts. So just make sure you keep that in mind when you're checking out all these events. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you remember. God, my brain, you guys. My brain is overloaded. I'm dying. I'll see you guys to work together. And otherwise, have a good rest of your day. Good night. I'll see you guys maybe on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Otsumina, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.